Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not
You will
relevant.
bring the jury.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy, do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy
They
there.
got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
No, I'm not Peyton Ansley John Milton. I'm the agent authorized to represent Peyton Ansley John Milton as written in all capital letters.
Thank you. And as to Mr. Milton, is there a competency concern, or is
I am not represented by anybody besides myself. In my sovereign capacity, appreciate you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I did have an opportunity to speak to him. I read him the reports.
Who is him?
Don't interrupt. I'm letting
I read
Mr.
him.
Langley
I
go.
read
You
him.
just stay quiet.
Thank you.
I read him the report so that he will understand the charges against him. He didn't wish to hear anything more about his rights, and he does not wish to be represented.
Love it. Sorry, I love that. He's just like, this guy is complete. He's making bad decisions. That's what that says. The whole soundbite. He's making bad decisions. Welcome back to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. All right. It is good to be back. Hope your lunch was great. Mrs. R.A. made me lunch. Well, this is how lunch went, okay? It went like this. We made a late cake for Mrs. R.A. It was her birthday a while back. Well, we made another cake because we didn't have one for her on her birthday, which was my fault. So I'm sorry. But when I say we, my daughter made the cake for Mrs. R.A. And so we had cake yesterday. And so my lunch started with eating one of the last. Well, I shared it with Mrs. R.A. We ate the last piece of cake. So that's my lunch started. And it ended with a grilled cheese sandwich, which Mrs. R.A. made for me. So it started probably not the healthiest way, but it was delicious. And man, life's short. Eat dessert first. It's a thing. It's a thing. Let's see. And yes, I did eat it in a bowl with milk because that's the way cake should be at. Don't at me. That is the way cake should be consumed. All right, we're going to be going back to court here in a little bit with Judge Oda. Judge Oda is where we're going to, where we have opening statements in this little trial, which we're following just in the meantime and between times, as we have our big court case that we're following. Ooh, take it. No, just kidding. It is a little hot in here, ma'am. It is a little warm. What's the armband for? It's a glasses. I think it's a glasses holder. A portable blood pressure cuff. Tinnitus, not tinnitus, but like tennis elbow. I think it's an injury thing. Is it for tennis elbow? Do court reporters get that? That's like a work injury, right? Torn bicep, maybe? Tennisitis. Yes, that's what it is. Carpal tunnel, maybe. I'm thinking a workers' comp claim is in the future for this young lady. I think she's got a sizable settlement coming her direction from the county. It's where he stashes his caramels. No, tennis elbow. She's going over to HR. Yep, she's going right now. Stress spells desserts backwards, and for a reason. Cindy, enjoy the moment. Love the name as well. Enjoy the moment. Eat dessert first. Maybe she plays tennis on the weekends. I'm thinking she's more pickleball. She looks to be hip, sort of. Tennis is so old school. That long-handled racket and everything. Who does that nowadays? Everyone's doing pickleball. Chat out on screen. Well, now's a good time to put it on screen and tell you, welcome, Greeners. You're first in chat today. Because you're first in chat, I will punish you appropriately, and we're going to send it to you to internet ownership. Everything IP-related worldwide is your responsibility. Thank you for reminding me, Camilla and Annis. Let's see. Weekend warrioritis. That's what it is. We needed an animal court, giraffe, and Chuck E. Cheese so far. There should be a court just for mascots for sports teams, because you know they get into trouble. I mean, it's all their shenanigans, because most of what they do is like borderline assault or, at least stalking. Most of what mascots do is they follow people around, they play pranks on people, and, whether it's with a leaf blower and the toilet paper roll or whatever it is, dumping the popcorn. I'm pretty sure they're not all staged, right? These are like real events. Like there's some actual crowd interaction there. But yeah, we need a mascot court. Who would be the jury? Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy. It's got to be Disney. They're the kings when it comes to that. Blue from the Colts is the best. I don't know. I tell you, when it comes to colleges, Cosmo, BYU's mascot, is one of the fittest mascots I've ever seen. And he's got the dance moves. Now, I'm a little partial to Utah because that's where I lived, so I got to see a lot of it. But also, the bear from the, I guess it's the Utah Jazz, right? The basketball team. You've never heard of them? Neither did I. But they have a mascot that's very, very athletic. I watched him attempt to pass through the hoop of a basketball standard while I was filming it was actually a college game, but it was mascot night. So we had the local mascots from the major teams come, and they all did their stunts, and he was trying to pass through the basketball net. Like the ball fits through, and the mascot, big head and all, was trying to go through. What no one had told him before he tried to do this was that just before the game, like immediately before the game, minutes before he arrived, our amazing staff there on site had replaced all the nets with some nice, tight, new ones. And so I got to film him attempting to pass through this net, where he proceeded to get, and this is right at the end of the timeout, right? So he's already done the trick where he climbs on the backboard and he falls with one leg on each side and pretends to be really hurt. I winced. But then he tries to go head first through the net and gets stuck. And the whistle blows and the teams are coming back out and the refs are like, get off. We need the hoop. Get out of the hoop. And he's like stuck. He can't fit through. And I'm rolling tape on this. I've got my camera. I'm right there next to him and filming this. And he gets stuck and he has to go back. He has to go back up through the hoop because he can't fit through. And I end up selling that clip that I shot, because it wasn't used on live air, and I had an agreement where I could use the video footage that I had personally shot on my camera for the school if it wasn't aired. And so that wasn't used, and so I ended up selling that to Fail Army. I think I made like $750 off that clip, which was pretty cool. I don't own the rights to it anymore. You can Google it, mascot Fail Jazz Bear, and that's my footage. That's me. I'm the cameraman. And I think it'll say Fail Army on it. So anyway, Blue from the Colts, also good. Honorable mention. All right, let's see. Play the video where it didn't happen. I would get a copyright strike from my own video because Fail Army, they collect. And then when I paid the fee, I think I would get a portion of I would get some of my own fee back, I think, because I get residual 50% off everything that clip makes. Let's see. Brutus is legend for what he did to Michigan football end zone. Crosses out the M, writing Ohio on it. Bite me. Member for 36 months, Rebecca. You just hit the red courthouse. The second one today. The second one ever. The red courthouse. Congratulations, Rebecca. Thank you. Long-time channel supporter. True OG. Thank you for your support. And congratulations hitting the 3-year memberversary. That is cool. Is there mascot Fail Jazz Bear? Yes, that's what it is. It's there. I could Google it, but I can't show it, obviously. Now I'm looking for it. Hold, please. Come to think about it, I haven't got a check from them in a long while. I thought I'd get like residual royalties for the rest of my life, like Michael Jackson and the Happy Birthday song, but okay. YouTube. Mascot fail Jazz Bear. Okay. Oh. It's still up on my other channel. It only has 42,000 views on my channel. Jukin Media, verified original for licensing permission, contact to use, licensing it. Yeah, it's still up. It's my footage. I can see it. you guys can see it like right here. You can see that happening. That's the one. So yeah, watch that. Go watch that clip a lot. Watch it a lot. I would make money from that. Mel Poi, OG member for 23 months. OG, almost pink. Next month you will be. That is awesome. I'm not even sure. Can I add a link? I'm not going to add a link right now. I won't add a link. I'm sorry. And there are reasons I'm doing that. I'm choosing that. I'll pass for now, but you can Google it. No link in chat, thanks. All right, we're going back to court in just a moment. The judge said he'd be back in 2 minutes. Usually he's fairly prompt, but now I'm watching. Now my timeline's going to be ruined. My timeline's just going to be mascots. Like, I'm pausing for cause. Passing for cause. Yes, passing for cause. Just have a 3-year party. Yeah. I like that idea. All right. As we wait for court to restart, we're expecting Lynn, you haven't missed it yet. We're expecting the opening statements from prosecution first to give us sort of the lay of the land as far as what these charges are. What we have heard is it's a felonious assault and assault charge. This was charged against a man who was an inmate in Warren County, Ohio, while he was in the prison, and it's a charge that he assaulted a corrections employee. So what we'll have is similar to other Warren County cases where we have seen charges against inmates. This seems to be like the court you go to when that happens. So we expect to see body cam. We expect to see security camera footage. And most of the state's case should get done today, as long as defense doesn't, drag things out on cross and things like that. But we might get done with that today. But tomorrow we're going to be bailing. We're going to be going up to the Au Pair case, which bring your milk and cookies, because that one's going to be plenty spicy on its own. It's going to be a thing. Like blushing may occur. I cannot predict what's going to be said, but we might learn some new terms or words during that trial. So buckle up. All right. Let's see. I need to make a change to a setting here. I don't think we'll get the channel banned. I'll be very careful on how we do things. And this trial's had plenty of preliminary hearings. Hey, look who the defense attorney is. There's our prosecutor. She's back. Okay. All right. You made a good choice. The brothers' trial is supposed to be 10 weeks long. Oh my goodness. 10. Okay. I'm okay with long trials. Okay. Especially if I'm really into them. Those are great. But 10 weeks is just, at one point you're like, who else do we need to hear from? What else do we need to, how much more background information do we need on their cell phones, or how DNA works, or how fires are started? At what point do you just be like, okay, that's enough. But this trial audio was awful. I did listen to it this morning, and that was part of my decision. I'm fingers crossed Virginia do it better. Fingers crossed. What for tomorrow? Tomorrow's going to be the au pair case. Do you know what his defense is on this? On this, I don't know. The defense attorney in the questioning of the jury has raised the issue of self-defense and rules that guards are supposed to follow. So that sort of, it could be an area where they try to go and say that this guard was operating outside his authority or beyond what he should have done, and that made it right for the defendant to defend himself in that situation. It's a possibility, but do not know. 10 weeks is very long when it's not the Karen's case. How long was Murdaugh? How long was Murdaugh's trial? Because I know we had like 2 weeks of just financial stuff, but 10 weeks is long. I love the long trials. They're fun to get into when there's a lot of good information. And the one we're going to, the au pair, 4 to 5 weeks is what we expect. Murdaugh was like 9. 6 weeks for Alex. It seemed like 9, Marissa. Maya was 9. That was a long one. At least it kept it spicy, though, in the exchanges back and forth between the two sides. Looks like prosecutor and defense are good friends in real life. Plenty of smiles there in the courtroom as they're prepared to do battle here against each other. Can we get a quick time? Too long did not read on the new trial. Cody, the new trial, we have a man and his wife. The man, we're going to use this finger for the man. The man, the middle finger's the man for some reason. The man and his wife got an au pair. That makes 3. So the man and the wife, got the au pair. The man and the au pair hook up while they're still married. These two, the man and the au pair, decide that they would be better off without this one. I need to get my finger puppets. I'm pretty sure if I make a mistake here as I'm looking at the reflection, I just might end up flipping everybody off, so I have to be careful. Anyway, the man and the au pair come up with a plan to get rid of the wife. It involves murder, but it also involves this plot to frame someone else for murder, and so they would get away with it. And it involved a website for adults to connect for relationship type exchanges of the consensual type. And so the man and the au pair started contacting a individual who was on that site to arrange one of these meetups. And through that contact and the communications with that man, that second man who was going to come to the house and engage in activities with wife, they set up a scenario that would be, how do you say this? That would be that the man who came to the house, would expect the wife to either act like or pretend like or that she did not know what was going on and was not as willing as he thought she was. That's the scenario they set up. And there's going to be some details along that line. So a consensual non-consent fantasy. Yeah, there you go, Northwest. Thanks for putting in those words. It's going to be difficult to dance around some of these terms, but in that scenario, the husband and the au pair return to the house. The husband shoots the man. The wife is stabbed to death. The au pair calls 911 to report this break-in of this guy who supposedly killed the wife, which didn't happen that way, according to the state. In the background, he's moaning. They hang up. She shoots him again with a different gun, her gun. Then they call 911 again to report this whole scenario. So husband was federal. I knew he was law enforcement because he shot him with his duty weapon, like his service weapon. And then she shot him with the gun that he bought her. They'd gone out for shooting practice at the shooting range. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, but the prosecutor's going to put it together in, first of all, in words that will make me blush and that will make sense to everybody else. So we're gonna see. Only Judy can judge me. It's okay if you're lost. Just understand this is a love triangle that became a love polygram of some sort, but not really. And then it ended up in just a good old-fashioned murder times 2. That's what we've got. So it's a good one. It's good. There's probably going to be a blush counter involved, I think. What state is it? It's in Virginia. Husband was federal agent, IRS. Yeah, carried a firearm. Next while will probably not be monetized. There's a chance. There's a chance some days might get the little not for advertisement. Yes, legal geometry. Mm-hmm. They wanted to make it look like the dude who came to the house was going to fake the attack, but he attacked her for real. So she unalived him in self-defense, but she wound up dying from the attack. Yeah, it clearly was a setup for somebody to go down for murder. So the cheeks counter would be higher than the blush counter, unfortunately, this one. So we have to be careful. So Virginia's for lovers, Posty. That is their slogan. For those that don't know, every state sort of has a slogan. Most states have a slogan. Like Utah would say, greatest snow on earth. And I think Colorado's is about getting high. I don't know. I'm not sure. Virginia is for lovers, is what Virginia's is. And so when you think, Ohio is the heart of it all. I was told there'd be no math. Northwest, this is a mantra I live by. It just, there's a lot of problems that you can avoid if you don't do that. I'm not saying that, what I choose, how I choose to live my life is for everybody else, but it served me well. Do I have a friend in PA? I got a lot of friends in PA, and a lot of them are right here on the channel. Maryland's current tourism tagline is "Open for it." I know Las Vegas is what happens in Vegas. No, what is it? What's Vegas's? Vegas has a phrase. The au pair case did not get much attention in Brazil. The reason why Brazil's involved in this one, Camilla, is, as you know, the au pair was from Brazil. And there's actually a belief that possibly the husband and the au pair were planning on running away to Brazil after they got away with this. Didn't happen. What happened in Vegas stays in Vegas. I'm not sure if Vegas is what put that out. Pursue your happiness in PA. South Carolina is probably some sort of Latin translation that means "while I breathe, I hope." That's a good one. I have a friend in PA. Cauliflower's like, me, I'm in PA. Everyone here has a friend in PA. Florida's a sunshine state, yes, and that means a couple things. They get a lot of sunlight, and they also are open to the public as far as business. Their government facilities are open. You can do records requests, and you can watch court, and you can, all those fun things. Missouri is the show me state. North Dakota says, come see our tree. Seriously? That's sort of funny. What would Kansas be? Odds are you eat food we make. I don't know. We grow it, you eat it. I'm in California, and I don't know their slogan, says Julia. Living ghost. Oh, man. Anyway. Arkansas is the natural state. Arkansas, fun fact, Arkansas has a crater of diamonds. It's a field that used to be part of like a volcanic structure of some sort, where you can just show up and pay a little money and go out there with a screen and a sift and a shovel and find diamonds on the ground. And people find them. And not just tiny ones. They find like little honkers, big old, yeah. Massachusetts is welcome to the Commonwealth of Corruption. That's the new one. Kansas is for corn. Massachusetts is America's birthplace. North Dakota Peace Garden. These are great stains. What is Alaska's? I think Alaska's is, it's bigger than it looks. I think that's what Alaska's is. It's bigger than it looks. Yes, you can mine diamonds. Josh going to Arkansas tomorrow. Hopefully you find some diamonds, Josh. Good luck to you out there. Creative Diamonds is fun. Kansas just went full ad astra per aspera. That's Latin, I guess. What does it mean? California, our motto is Eureka. Probably from the, the 49ers? The Gold Rush? That is a Texas slogan, but they were the Lone Star State. You got like, don't mess with Texas, though, right? That's like a secondary slogan. Wisconsin's motto is forward. I tell you, if you've got Scottish ancestry, like every family has their own motto as well. Yeah, there's our defendant coming in with the one handcuff. Shackled. The bailiff is got some facial hair there. Every family has their own little slogan, right? And my clan is per ardua, which means through difficulty. Because apparently we got pushed around by a lot of the other clans, and one of them made us, I think it was the Campbells, they beat us in a battle or something, and they made us pay tribute to them of a fatted calf in winter and a snowball in summer. And if that's just not mean, I don't know what is. So on our clan crest, we have a dagger held in the hand, and on the dagger is a snowball. Fun fact. It's all true. All right. The national animal is a unicorn in Scotland.
Okay.
Here we are. We're back. Opening statements. If the jury's here. Arkansas is we're not in Kansas anymore. Have you 3D printed your clan crest? I have not. But I did print this, which is like space-age chainmail. Is that pretty cool? It's all linked together with these fancy little hooks. Took 5 hours this morning. Stacy, this is one of the most satisfying fidget toys I've ever played with, and it's got a little. I'm going to mute their sound. It sounds like this. It's soothing. I'll put a link to the 3D printer I got. I will tell you, it's not for everybody, and they're not cheap. This was our family gift for Christmas this year, was a 3D printer. That way we could put the funds for everybody together into one present and afford it. But let me get you the link for the one I've got.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Was everybody able to follow my instructions and admonitions over our break? All right, we are now going to hear the opening statements of the attorneys. Like I told you before, the opening statements are not evidence. They are designed to assist you with the evidence to sort of give you an idea of what's coming up. We've agreed in advance that each side will have 15 to 20 minutes to do their opening. Ms. Trainer, you may begin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Defendant Todd Anthony King stands before you indicted by a Warren County grand jury on 2 separate counts. Count 1 being felonious assault in that on or about the 11th day of July, 2024 in Warren County in the state of Ohio. The defendant did knowingly cause serious physical harm to another, that other person being Jason T. Hall. Count 2 of the indictment states as follows: on July the 11th, 2024, Warren County, State of Ohio, Todd Anthony King did knowingly cause or attempt to cause physical harm to another. That person, again, being Jason T. Hall. Furthermore, count 2 states that the offense was committed on or in or on the grounds of a state correctional institution. The victim of the offense was an employee of the Department of Rehabilitations and Corrections, and the offense was committed by a person incarcerated in that state correctional institution. Now, how do we get to that indictment? We get there because on July the 11th of 2024, the defendant, an inmate at the Warren Correctional Institution,
the judge
was
is eating
in the
again.
recreational yard picking up trash. He caught the attention of Investigator Hall. Investigator Hall and the defendant knew each other. Investigator Hall approached the defendant and saw that he was wearing earrings in his ear. You're going to hear that as part of the policy of the Department of Rehabilitations and Corrections, that male inmates are not permitted to wear earrings. Investigator Hall approached him, asked him to remove his earrings. Defendant refused. They had a conversation. Defendant continued to refuse. Corrections Officer Matthew Cheek saw the interaction between Investigator Hall and the defendant and came from his post to assist in any way he could. Defendant was directed to cuff up, which you're going to hear means put your hands behind your back so we can place handcuffs on you, for not complying with the order to remove his earrings and refusing to comply. He was directed by Investigator Hall. He was directed by Corrections Officer Cheek. You're going to see the interaction from three views. The body camera of Corrections Officer Cheek, the body camera worn by Corrections Officer Ellsroth, and then also from this prison surveillance camera, which covers the area of the yard that this incident happened in. Now, you're going to see this, and you're going to see certain things on the video, and you're going to ultimately, at the end of the case, have the video to go back in the jury room with you. You can watch it as many times as you want, but as you're watching it, you're going to notice a few things. As you're watching it, you're going to notice that when Officer Cheek comes up to this interaction, he stands next to Investigator Hall, who's got his handcuffs out, ready to put the defendant in handcuffs behind his back as soon as he complies with the order to cuff up. When Officer Cheek approaches, he again, just like Officer Hall, Investigator Hall, told the defendant, cuff up, cuff up. You're going to see that Officer Cheek does have his state-issued, prison-issued pepper spray, OC spray, in hand. Okay? He's got it extended. No dispute about that. The conversation continues between Cheek and Hall and the defendant. Ultimately, the defendant indicates that he's going to comply. Are you going to comply? Yeah, I'm going to comply. Under the assumption that he's going to comply, he drops a trash bag that is in his hand from where he was picking up trash. Officer Cheek moves around to the front of the defendant, and Investigator Hall goes behind him, handcuffs still in hand, to be prepared to cuff his hands behind his back. Everything's fine at that point. Defendant hasn't indicated he's going to comply. There's no indication of aggression or any reason why the defendant would not comply with the orders he's been given to cuff up. So they're kind of caught off guard. At that point, you're going to see on the videos, defendant takes a step and sucker punches Investigator Hall with his left hook right in his left eye. Completely caught off guard. Hits him so hard he falls back, doesn't fall down to the ground, but it sends him back shuffling 3 to 4 feet. Officer Cheek, at that point,
Was that with the left or right?
then does raise his spray again and deploys his OC spray in the face of the defendant who has just assaulted Officer Hall, Investigator Hall, in an effort to get him to comply. At that point, other officers are responding. You're going to hear from Officer Ellsroth and see his video as well, that he saw the incident across the yard and came to help. As this progresses, the defendant still resists. He still refuses to comply, to cuff up, refuses to put his arms behind his back, and ultimately, they do have to force his arms behind his back. As a result of this incident, Officer Hall suffered a fractured orbital bone in his face. He had to undergo extensive treatment, and he's going to tell you he still has lasting effects regarding his vision due to the assault from inmate King. You're going to hear that after this incident, the defendant was diagnosed with a fracture to his arm. That fracture was brought about by his own actions. That fracture happened after the assault, unprovoked and unexpected, on Investigator Hall. That fracture happened because he still, in spite of everything, refused to comply and refused to cuff up. There's anticipation that the defense is going to be asking for a self-defense instruction. And you're going to get, if the court decides that that's an appropriate instruction, that's up to the judge. You will get specific instructions, if it's appropriate, on when self-defense applies and how to apply it. This is not a self-defense case, ladies and gentlemen. At the close of evidence, it will be proven beyond a reasonable doubt that self-defense does not apply, and this is a straight assault causing serious physical harm to Investigator Hall. And we will ask for a finding of guilty as to all charges. Thank you.
All right, that's one side of the story. Let's hear the other side.
Thank you, Your Honor. Counsel, may it please the court. Again, my name is Josh Engel, and it is my honor to represent Mr. King here today. There's a famous quote about jazz that I like to mention in situations like this, which is that someone said, you don't listen to the notes, but you listen to the notes that aren't being played. And when you look at the evidence in this case, I want you to pay attention to what's not been done. Because what you will have here is a case of excessive force by officers, arbitrary and capricious enforcement of rules by officers, and an inmate who is defending himself against that arbitrary treatment. Now, let me give you an example of what you're going to hear. You're going to hear that after the assault, the Highway Patrol, who has responsibility for investigating crimes in state properties, including the prison, does an investigation. I want you to pay attention to what was done during that investigation. I want you to pay attention to whether they first took Mr. King's claims seriously. Here's what I mean by that. He will tell you, for example, that this dispute all starts because of earrings, and that he's been wearing earrings, and that this officer approached him and told him to take out his earrings. Now, maybe there's a rule at the prison that says you can't wear earrings. Maybe there isn't. I don't want you to get bogged down in that, because what you will hear is that if there is such a rule, it is more honored in the breach than the observance, meaning no one cared about that rule. But an officer decides on this day he's going to enforce that rule because he wants to make life difficult for Mr. King. Then you're going to hear that when Mr. King has the audacity to argue or assert his rights, no one's willing to talk to him. No one's willing to get a supervisor and say, hey, how are we going to resolve this? But you'll see they just hold pepper spray right in his face and say, you do as we say, or we are going to spray this right in your face.
I'm guessing some expletives were used.
Maybe. You'll get to judge because you will receive, and we will go over in detail that will drive you crazy perhaps, policies from ODRC about use of force.
Okay.
And you will see that one of the things that they're supposed to do is try to de-escalate situations, not
escalate. Well, they're having issues from court here. We're going to jump back here in just a second. Stream it offline for a second. Hold, please. We'll get it. Get it back. You guys having bad weather there in Ohio? Give it a second. This is the second time this has happened today.
Subject to arbitrary enforcement and excessive force. Well, how do you know the force was excessive? His arm was broken so badly they had to transport him up to Ohio State Medical Center in order to get treatment. And while he's there, they discovered he's also having heart problems. He needs to have emergency catheterization, have a stent put in because he's having a myocardial infarction as a result of the abuse he had. That'll be evidence of excessive force that you can infer. Did they do what was necessary to try to get or maintain order in the prison, or were they abusing their authority to try to make him uncomfortable, to try to fight with him, to try to get him to comply with their rules, and when he doesn't comply, they tune him up and break his arm?
Tune him up.
That you'll hear is excessive force. And think about what would have happened. If they're going to break his arm when he resists, you might reasonably believe they're going to break his arm if he does comply with their orders.
That's a tough one for me.
I also want you to pay attention to some of the other claims that are made. Let me give you one example to pay attention to. I'm not going to give them all away. But there are lots of claims made by the officers involved that Mr. King was intoxicated when this happened, either under the influence of drugs or under the influence of alcohol or anything like that. And one of the things, piece of evidence you'll get are the medical records, and in particular, the medical records from the treating nurse at the scene who dealt with him after he'd been beat up and sprayed in the face with pepper spray. You look in vain in there for any evidence that he was intoxicated. You won't find that. So that's why I say pay attention to what you don't hear and what the state can't necessarily prove. Because your job, when I come back at the end and speak to you, after all the evidence, your job, I'll tell you, is to make sure not about what you believe happened in that situation, but your job is to make sure that the state has given you enough proof of what happened in that situation. And there's a difference there. Because the evidence in this case may be that you think, hey, it's more likely than not that this happened. But that's not your job. Your job is to make sure that the government can't just, as Judge Oda suggested, come in here and tell you, find this person guilty. But your job is to make sure there's evidence beyond that conclusion. So look for that evidence when you hear things. Look for the things that are missing. Look for the things that are unsaid. Look for the things that aren't proven, that they just want you to take their word for. Because Mr. King is going to testify in this trial. It's no secret. He's going to tell you his perspective on what happened. He's going to tell you his view of the actions and what was going through his mind as this incident happened. When you have to sort out who is right and who is wrong, you look for what the proof is. And did the officers comply with their obligations? Because they're the ones with all the power to de-escalate the situation. So I thank you in advance for all your time. I thank you in advance for your attention. And I look forward to speaking to you at the end of the trial.
When all you have is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. This attorney uses the
Turner, call your first
same
witness.
defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. State calls Carl Elsra.
Carl, come on up. He uses the same. Don't be distracted by the facts. Look at what you didn't see, which is a tough thing to do. But I guess it makes preparation for trial easy.
Oh, I know. I'm okay with those.
Okay.
Judge opens another candy. Pops it in his mouth. We believe they are caramels.
All right. I need you to make sure you keep your voice up nice and loud for us, okay? And give us your name. I want you to spell your first and last name for our court reporter, please.
Carl, K-A-R-L, Elsroth, E-L-T-Z-R-O-T-H.
All right. And how are you employed, sir?
I'm a correction officer at Warren Correctional.
All right. And how long have you been employed in that capacity?
14 and a half years.
Lost count? All
Yes.
right. So you've been a corrections officer that entire time?
Yes.
Okay. And in your time as a corrections officer at Warren, have you had occasion to come to court to testify in any cases?
This would be my first time.
This is your first time?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
It's first time for everything.
So safe to say that you were employed on July the 11th of 2024?
Yes.
And do you recall what shift you were working that day?
First shift.
Okay. Tell the jury what hours that consists of.
6 a.m. to 2 p.m.
And what were your duties on that day?
I work at Recreation. I've been there for a Recreation for 3 years. I work rec every day.
Okay, and tell us what that means. What do you do when you work rec?
Sorry.
When the inmates basically get like an hour a day, they come up to rec. It was the summertime. They play softball, basketball, walk around outside. We got probably a couple acres ground. They can kind of do whatever out there.
Okay, so they're outside during this time?
Yes.
Okay, at least in the summertime anyway?
Yeah, if the weather's nice.
Okay. And what are your responsibilities when you work rec?
To just to maintain security there at Recreation, make sure nobody's fighting or doing anything they're not supposed to do. If they want equipment, we get the equipment out, give it to them.
Sounds
take
like
an
a pretty
ID.
cushy prison.
That way, they give the equipment back, we give them their ID back, a little accountability.
Okay. And where is Warren Correctional located?
On 63,
He's the prison
State Route
version of the
63?
playground
Yeah.
lady.
Okay.
By the interstate, pretty close to
Okay.
the interstate, 75.
Okay. Is that in Warren County?
Yes.
Okay. In the state of Ohio?
Yes.
Okay. Silly question, I know, but I got to ask it.
Okay.
All right. Officer Ellsworth, are you familiar with the defendant in this matter, Todd King?
Yes.
Okay. How are you familiar with Mr. King?
He at that summer he was a yard porter. He would walk around and kind of freely and pick up trash all over the yard.
Okay.
Clean
That's what a yard porter does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's the trash come
So
from?
you were familiar with him in that capacity?
Yeah, because he would walk around. I'd see him
Talking like
maybe
ramen
every day
wrappers?
here and there.
Okay.
doing that.
Did you ever have any interactions with him?
Just brief conversations. Hey, how you doing?
Okay. Ever had any issues with him
No,
prior to this day that we're
No.
going to talk about in a minute?
no, not that I can recall.
Okay. All right. So let's draw your attention to July the 11th. And you said you were working that day. At some point, did you become aware of an incident that occurred? Well, let me ask you this. Do you know investigator Jason Hall?
Yes,
Okay. And how do you know Mr. Hall?
he's the investigator at Warren Correctional, and I see him doing rounds. See him at work.
Okay. So at some point during the day on July the 11th of 2024, did you become aware of an incident that was occurring or had occurred between the defendant and Investigator Hall?
Yes.
All right. And tell us how you became aware that something was going on.
I heard JT Hall and Officer Cheek yelling.
All right. And where were you when you heard this?
I was at the recreation gate.
Okay. And could you see anything that was going on?
Yeah, I could see everything that was going on.
Okay. And could you, how far away do you think you were when you heard the yelling?
100, 150 feet.
Okay. Could you tell what the yelling was about?
No, I heard yelling.
Okay.
I heard them telling Mr. King to cuff up.
Okay. Now, once the yelling caught your attention, what did you do?
I started kind of like a brisk walking towards them.
Walking towards them?
Yes.
Okay. And who were you walking towards?
Mr. King, JT Hall, and Officer Cheek.
Okay. Were they the only three around at that point?
Yes.
At least involved in what you were observing?
Yes.
Okay. And what was your intent when you were walking over there?
They'd teach us to use IP skills to downgrade situations to officer presence. And, the more officers you have, it might calm a situation down. So I was going there for that, and in case something more happened.
Okay. To try to calm the situation down? But at this point, did you know what was going on?
I just knew there was a lot of yelling, and they were saying for inmate King to cuff up.
Okay. All right. So how long do you think it took you to get over there?
While I was walking over there, that's when things started to happen, and I started running. So
Okay. What did you see?
10 seconds maybe.
All right. What did you see?
I saw inmate King strike JT Hall, and then he started wrestling with striking CO Cheek.
Who started wrestling with CO Cheek?
Inmate King.
Okay. Mr. King? All right. What else did you observe?
I'm not whittling. I'm muted, actually.
Inmate King
I think it's the judges.
throwing strikes
the
at
witness is
CO
doing something with
Cheek
his
and
fingers. He's got a fidget toy or
CO
something.
Cheek defending himself, trying to wrestle.
Okay.
Inmate King.
Let me ask you this, officer. Were you equipped with a body-worn camera on July the 11th?
Yes.
Okay. And was it functioning properly?
Yes.
Okay. Was it on?
Yes.
All right. And you've had an opportunity to review that video, correct?
Yes.
And it has been previously marked, I think, as State's Exhibit number 1, if I'm not mistaken.
2.
Is it 2? Sorry, I don't have my list in front of me. State's Exhibit number 2? You've seen that?
Yes.
Okay, and is it a fair and accurate depiction of what you observed on that day?
Yes.
All right, and I would ask to publish State's Exhibit number 2 to the jury, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Okay, we're going to take a look at your video here.
Getting ready for wreck.
Just kind of, before we get started here, Officer Ellsworth, if you would just kind of orient us and tell the jury what they're looking at. That screen in front of you is a touch screen, so you can mark arrows or whatnot as you're kind of giving us the landscape of the area.
I'm going to shrink down to...
Where I'm standing is a large, you can see the fence. It's a gate the same size as the fence. It slides open and shuts where they go.
This fence over here on the left-hand side of the screen?
It'd be behind me.
Okay.
You would go in and outside rec there. That's where I was standing. Where the three people are standing, Inmate King, JT Hall, and CO Cheek right here. That's in front of the chapel, which is you can see the entrance to that over to the left. And they were standing in front of the chapel.
Okay. And these three people here, if you could identify who we're looking at for me. This one here in sort of dark pants and like a tan.
That's CO Cheek.
Okay, and then next to him in the tan pants and dark shirt, who is that?
That's JT Hall.
Okay, and then this individual here who looks like kind of in darker clothing all over.
That's Inmate King.
That's Inmate King? Okay. And just for reference, where on your body is your camera?
It's like sitting right here in the middle of my chest.
Yeah, on your chest? Okay.
Yeah. On a lanyard, actually.
Okay. So we're looking at this and it's from your perspective, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Doesn't look like he's in a hurry. Ooh, now he's in a hurry.
Okay, at that point, the camera's starting to go a little crazy there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's happening at that point?
I'm running.
Okay. That's when you started running?
Yes.
Give me your other arm. Cuff up. Give me your other arm. Cuff up. Cuff up. Give me your other arm. Cuff up. Cuff up now. Sorry. I gotta go. Somebody put cuffs on him. I got cuffs right here, sir. Get up and put cuffs on him. Put cuffs on him. I got both legs. Relax. All right. Everybody off. Everybody off.
All right, I'm going to stop it there, and we're at about 1 minute and 12 seconds into the video for the record. The camera's gone dark at this point. Do you know what happened?
It fell off, and I think it was underneath.
Somebody.
CO Cheek or Inmate King.
Okay, so it
Always
fell
saw it
off
as a
your
shield.
body
Yeah.
at this point, so is it facing the ground here, or do you know?
It could be someone's on top of it, or it could be upside down.
Okay, but it's not attached to your body anymore? Okay. Is that common under
It's
circumstances like this?
just
when
held
you're
on by magnets, so if it gets bumped hard enough, it'll fall off.
Okay, but it's still recording at this point?
Yes.
Okay, just at least the audio
like
we
a
can
poor
still hear,
design
correct?
Yeah, you can see, I believe Sergeant Gillen picked it up and handed it to me at some point.
Okay. Now, I'm going to go back just a little bit because I want to see if we can get to a point where there's someone in here with a red shirt on, right? Right here?
It's probably the same shirt he's wearing now.
Do you know who that person is?
I'm not seeing anything.
I don't think we really see the face, but
Like,
is that just another officer who was there?
That should be me.
Okay. All right. You were wearing the red shirt?
Yes.
Similar to what you got on now?
Yeah, we wear red at recreation.
Okay. So that would be you that we're seeing there. In the red.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And I just want to walk through a couple things too that we heard, at least on this video. What does it mean to cuff up?
Place your hands behind your back and
Prepare
allow
to be
the officer to put handcuffs
handcuffed.
on.
Okay. And that's what inmates are supposed to do when they hear that command?
Yes.
How do they know how to do that?
We teach them.
So I assume it to be
inmate
common
school.
knowledge that
Okay. Common
Happens.
terminology used in the
happens.
prison?
Yes. Common terminology and happens all the time.
Okay. And what is the purpose of asking an inmate or ordering an inmate to cuff up?
It's common procedure to cuff someone up and take them to the hole if you want to segregation. Take them to segregation if you want to do a search on them, or if they've done something wrong, de-escalate the situation and separate people and have them placed in cuffs so nothing else can happen.
Yeah,
Okay.
Phil tweeted me as
Is
soon
it
as they had
a
the jury.
safety measure sometimes?
Yes.
Okay. Can it be done just for mere transporting of a prisoner from point A to point B in the prison?
Yes.
Okay. So multiple reasons for somebody to be cuffed up.
Yes.
Is there a protocol to be followed when inmates fail to abide by an order to cuff up?
I mean, it can escalate to the point where force is used in order to maintain order and the rules of the institution.
Okay, so when you were present during this incident, did the defendant abide by orders to cuff up?
No.
Okay. Who was issuing those orders? Do you recall?
JT Hall.
Okay. Was he the only one?
No, Officer Cheek was also.
Okay. How about yourself when you arrived on scene? Did you issue an order for him to cuff up?
Yes.
Okay. How many times, at least when you were present, do you think that he was ordered to cuff up? Estimate.
Probably 8 to 10 times.
Okay. And did he ever abide by those orders to cuff up?
No.
Okay. As an employee of Warren Correctional Institution, what kind of training do you undergo?
There's a lot of different training. I don't know.
Okay.
More specifically, maybe. Or
Do you? Well, let's talk about use of force. What kind of training do you undergo for use of force?
I mean, we go over the basic rules of the policy for using force.
Okay. And how is this done? Is there a class that you're required to take? Is this one-on-one training? How are you trained?
There's a class.
Okay. And is this something that is a recurring class? Do you have to take
Yes, every
multiple
year.
times?
Every year, once every year.
Once every year? Okay. So, and there's a policy in place at Warren for use of force?
Yes.
Okay. And as part of your training, are you familiarized with that policy?
Yes.
Okay. Does that policy change on a regular basis or at all?
It does a little bit.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Have there been any significant changes to it, would you say, since you've been there for 14 to 15 years?
I kind of say yes.
And if there are significant changes to a policy, are you, do you get training on that in your yearly?
Yes.
In your yearly classes?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like we've already been through this training manual once. I think we did.
And I'm going to go ahead and put one of the defense exhibits actually up here, which is marked as Exhibit C. I'm assuming you're still using the same.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just go ahead and put this up here, okay? This is Defense Exhibit C for the record. You tell us what we're looking at there?
That's the use of force policy?
Okay. And you've seen this document before?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. And I'm gonna flip here to page 5. Good.
It's upside down. You have to flip it over. We can't see it. There we go.
And
Less than
I'm gonna
deadly
draw your
force.
attention there to section D, okay? Have you read that policy before?
Yes.
Okay. And is this policy part of what you're trained on as an employee of Warren Correction?
Yes.
Okay. And section D is highlighted the less than deadly force. Can you explain what that is?
Less than deadly. Deadly would mean to cause serious harm or death.
Risk of death?
Yes.
Okay. So obviously less than deadly
Less than that.
would be a lesser level of force. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. And section D, that's highlighting the instances where less than deadly force would be allowed to be used. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. And specifically, I want you to look at section 1 and D1 and D2. Okay? What are the two instances there that would allow an officer to use less than deadly force?
Self-defense from physical attack or threat or physical harm. And defense of another from physical attack or threat of physical attack.
Okay. And was this policy in place on July 11th of 2024?
Yes.
Okay. Once there has been a use of force, are there certain steps that have to be followed from your perspective as an officer?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us what happens after a use of force.
Inmate should be immediately taken to medical to be examined.
Okay. And that's under all instances?
Yes.
Okay. Give us some examples of what would be considered as a less than deadly use of force.
Use of OC.
Okay.
Pepper spray.
And what is OC?
It's pepper spray. It's a liquid agent that burns your
Okay.
skin, eyes.
Is that issued as part of your standard uniform?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any other devices or, let me ask you this, do you have a taser?
No.
Okay. Gun?
No.
Okay. Any sort of baton or
No.
instrument like that?
No.
Okay. Is the pepper spray really your only we'll
Tool.
call it a weapon?
We call it a tool.
Tool?
Not a
Is
weapon.
pepper spray your
It's
only
not
tool?
a weapon.
Is that your only tool?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not a weapon, he says.
Okay. Are you trained on how to use pepper spray?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about that training.
It's
It's really fun. We get
once
to
a
spray
year.
each other.
Okay. Same as the use of force?
Yes.
Is that all in combination in one training, or is that separate?
It's separate.
Okay. And tell us, what are you trained on? How are you supposed to use pepper spray?
You're supposed to spray it in the facial region.
Okay. Approximately how big is a can of pepper spray?
We basically carry two different types. There's like a Mark IV that's probably about 6 inches and a circumference like that. And then we also carry a Mark IX, which is a 1 pound canister, a lot bigger. It's probably about like that.
Okay, so a Mark VI and a Mark IX. Is that what you said?
I believe it's Mark IV and Mark IX.
Mark IV and Mark IX. Okay, do you know where the number designations come from? The 4 and the 9?
No.
Okay. But
I do not. That's what.
But the 9 is bigger than the
Yes.
4? Okay. Carries more liquid in it?
Yes.
Okay. Are there certain circumstances where you're supposed to use a 4 versus a 9?
Yeah, 4 would be more like a individual or like two individuals, where a Mark IX would be for a group,
Okay.
a larger group.
Does a Mark IX cover more area than a Mark IV?
It can spray further and cover more area, yes.
Okay. And contains
More.
more. Okay. Okay.
Contains
so,
more. That's a technical term.
So you gave, going kind of circling back here, you gave the example of OC spray being a use of force. What other things would be considered a use of force? Non-deadly.
Any kind of physical.
Any kind of physical?
Resistance.
Okay. Is there
This guy is not practiced.
is there a scale of less than deadly forces? Is one considered more aggressive than the other, or are they all on an equal playing field?
They're all equal playing field. You're supposed to use the amount of force necessary to maintain control of the situation.
Maintain control of the situation. Okay. But are they all considered the same level? Do you understand my question? I don't think I'm asking it very well. Let me give you a hypothetical, okay? Hypothetically, if you had an inmate that was doing whatever, resisting, causing a danger to yourself or other officers, okay? Would it be considered from a use of force standpoint the same to use OC spray versus to go hands-on with somebody?
OC is supposed to be the first line
Okay.
of
That's
control.
your first tool you're supposed to use, correct?
Yeah.
He has a
But
3D
that's not
printed
always
fidget toy.
feasible.
Okay.
You can hear it rubbing his.
All right. So after an OC or use of force, you take an inmate to medical to get him checked out, you said, right?
Yes.
What else happens after a use of force?
They would be taken to, typically taken to segregation after that.
Okay.
Staff is also supposed to go to medical
Okay.
right after that,
All right. What's the purpose of staff going to medical?
just to evaluate any injuries,
Okay. Did
problems they might have.
Did you go to medical after this incident?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have any injuries after this incident?
No.
Okay. How about paperwork? What kind of paperwork, if any, is needed after a use of force incident?
You have to fill out a use of force statement.
And what is that?
It's a statement that describes your actions, why you took your actions, the reasons why.
Okay. And what happens after that form is filled out?
Supervisors make a use of force packet and they review it. Gets reviewed by different people.
By someone. Okay,
Yeah.
so you turn it into a supervisor?
Yes.
Okay. And then, what happens after that? If you know.
A lot of times they have a review of it. They'll do follow-up on it, which they did in this case.
They did in this case?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you personally have any follow-up
Yes.
after this? Okay, tell me what happened with you personally.
There was a captain that came in from another institution and interviewed me and asked me questions about the incident, and he did a report also on it also.
Okay. And,
Someone's phone's ringing.
do you know what institution that captain came in from?
I don't remember.
Okay.
It's been a while.
That's okay. But was it
Defense attorneys.
it was from another, was that, if you know, was that person an ODRC
Yeah,
employee?
he was a captain from another correctional facility. I do remember that. Yes.
Okay.
ODRC.
All right, so it was an ODRC, not, you're not speaking of someone from the Highway Patrol, correct?
No.
Okay. All right, and you said you spoke with that person?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I have one other thing I want to do with you, Officer Ellsroth.
Be more specific.
I'm going to
ma'am.
pull up what I've marked as State's Exhibit number 6. Okay. There are cameras also, in addition to your body-worn camera, there are cameras on campus at Warren Correctional?
Yes.
Okay. And is there a camera that covers the yard area, the rec area?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know where that camera is located?
Well, there's several.
There's several?
There's one on the education building that faces recreation. I believe one of the below road blocks, 2A, has a camera pointing towards recreation.
Okay.
There might be a camera in the middle of the yard, which can probably be moved, that might be facing that way.
She's got a folder called Homicide on her desktop. Sentencing charts. Not sure what she's showing here, but
Oh, there we go.
can you make it big, ma'am? And biggin.
Okay, if you could take a look at your screen for me. This is State's Exhibit number 6. You've seen this before? This angle?
Yes.
Okay. And what are we looking at here?
That's a housing unit. It's 2 Alpha. It's pointing up to well, you can see
A UFO in the sky.
I still mark, I guess.
Yeah. Whoops.
There's the UFO.
Sorry. Oh, my bad.
That's the education. That's the education building, which is the recreation gate would be right here beside the education building, and the chapel would be a little closer this way from that.
Is your screen working? Can you touch it for me?
Yeah,
I don't know if it's.
it's on.
Oh, there we go.
It's on
Oh,
that
it's
one.
just not coming up on mine for some reason. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay,
Here's
so
the
that's the
source, ma'am.
education building?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So from this perspective, where were you coming from?
From like right there, the the dot to the left.
Okay. All right. And if you hit
He's
the
trying to
bottom of
smiley
your screen, you
face.
can hit clear. And we'll clear off the blue arrows there. Okay. All right. And we're going to zoom in a little bit here.
Because we can. Ooh. Way off. This is the best angle we had?
I can get here with
We're going to watch it in
You can just-
Minecraft version.
What's that?
You can just barely see me, I believe, right there
Here on this
in the
this side
right
of the
beside
tree
the
there?
tree, yeah, in the red.
Okay.
Roll tape. Boom. Boom. 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. And this was,
Oh, it's
State's
red that was
Exhibit number
punching.
6. Is that a fair and accurate representation of what you observed that day?
Yes.
Yard dude was wailing on him.
All right, and Officer Ellsworth, do you see person you've been describing as inmate King? Do you see him in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Stipulate to identification.
Thank you.
Noted, thank you.
All right, I have no further questions for you at this time, sir. I will pass the witness, Your Honor.
Defense.
How many times?
How many times did you strike the defendant?
That video up on the screen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bring us that video again. Can we play the whole thing? I thought it was the defendant striking the dude.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
Thank you for coming in. Let's orient ourselves a little bit first. You did a use of force report in this case?
Yes.
Okay. And when you did the use of force report, you did that pursuant to the procedures and policies of ODRC?
Yes.
That would be one of the use of force policies, describes how you're supposed to do that?
Yes.
Now, when you do that report, you know it's important to include every detail in there, right?
Yes.
Everything that's important.
Yes.
You don't want to leave anything out that's important.
Yes.
Okay. You were probably taught when you did these reports, if it's not in there, it didn't happen, right?
I mean, yes, no, not necessarily. I mean, if it's on camera and you didn't remember it, then it still happened, even if you didn't write it.
Okay, but it's important that you try to include all important details. Some details may not be captured by camera, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now, in this case, we're looking at this video here, which is the State's Exhibit 6. And this is a video that's taken from which angle?
That's from the 2 Alpha housing unit.
And what the jury's seeing now, it's blown up pretty big, right?
Yes.
Now, I think you testified that there are a significant number of other cameras around there, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let me pull up, if I could switch over to this monitor here.
Should I unplug Brittany? It doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah, unplug it, or do you want to just pull up the, which is easier, Brittany? It's easier. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this is your body cam that you showed before, right?
Yes.
And so, can you show us where are there other cameras that are around there?
There's one right here.
Okay, so on the right side here, right?
Yes.
There's one right in the middle on the short pole.
That's a lot closer than the video we saw in State's Exhibit 6, right?
Yes.
This looks like a camera here too, right? That's a camera?
Yes.
Okay, that looks like it's what, maybe 20 yards from where this incident happened?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would have had a view of it there too, right?
Those cameras move, so it would depend on where it was pointing at that time.
All right. This camera, does that one move over here?
No, but it's pointing right at the rec gate, and it doesn't go over as far as where they were standing.
There's other cameras too around. Looks like, is that one right
How
there?
convenient.
Is that a camera?
No, I don't believe that is, no.
Okay, where are the other cameras? Looks like there's one right here.
Yeah, that's probably the 2A camera,
Okay.
somewhere in that area.
Now that's a lot closer too then, right?
No, the camera you're just pointing at, that's the one, the view you showed previously.
That's the view we showed before,
that was
right?
blown up.
There's one right here. There's one here. Where else are we gonna find cameras?
I mean, in front of all the units down there, but they just point straight ahead.
Okay. So lots of cameras around there, right?
Yes.
In addition to your body cam. Now, you indicated on your testimony that you were able to hear, I think you said yelling from 150 feet away, right? So this is where you're standing, about 150 feet, you'd say this is?
Yes.
Okay, and you're able to hear yelling, you said, right?
Yes.
Now, there's no one else around here, right? There's no other inmates in the yard, it looks like, right?
Right.
There's some way over here, I guess that is. Is that inmates there? Or is that something else?
Yeah, I believe that is.
Okay, some distance away, right?
Yes.
But no one else around, no other guards around either, right?
Right.
So it's just a conversation going on between, it's Mr. Hall, Mr. Cheeks, and Mr. King, right?
Right.
Now, are you able to hear this conversation at all? From 150 feet away?
When they're just talking a normal voice now.
Okay, so you don't
Probably
know, so it's fair to say you don't know what they said before you heard cuff up, right?
Right.
You only got involved when you heard yelling, so you don't know why Mr. King was told to cuff up.
No.
Now, did you observe pepper spray being put right in Mr. King's face? Did you observe someone holding pepper spray right in front of his face?
Yeah, I saw Officer Cheek holding it, the can in his hand, in front of his face, yes.
Okay, you saw that. So may I approach, Your Honor?
You may?
Give me your use of force report, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, we tried to put everything that's important in that use of force report.
Okay.
So can you tell me where you indicate in that use of force report that pepper spray was being held right in front of Mr. King's face?
I don't believe it's in that report.
Okay. And, I'm sorry, let me do this. Where did you indicate in that report that there was yelling?
Said something about where do you indicate somebody was yelling?
The only time that would be in there is when we were yelling at him to cuff up when I was already there.
Okay, my question was a little bit different. Where in that use of force report, where you're supposed to put all the important details, did you indicate that you heard yelling?
I didn't.
You did. So you didn't include that detail either. So now let's advance this videotape a little bit. About 12 seconds, and that's when you saw someone swing there. You saw Mr. King swing at Mr. Hall, then, right?
I'm blocking.
Yes.
Okay, and you saw that, right?
Yes.
Okay, but you don't know what happened that precipitated that swing.
No, I couldn't hear all the details.
Right, you were too far away to hear, so you don't know if there was a threat made by Mr. Cheek, for example, right?
Right.
You don't know if there's a threat made by Mr. Hall.
Right.
New trial starts
Now,
tomorrow, guys. This is the short one just for today.
At that use of force policy, which is Defendant's Exhibit C.
It'll be up here. Oh. As soon as I come back, he fixes it.
You were asked about some parts of this policy, right?
Can start with the
And you were asked about
pesto
circumstances for
and mozzarella Cheez-Its today.
when a staff member may use force, right? So you were not able to testify that before you got there, there was a risk of physical attack or a threat of physical harm to Mr. King.
No.
Okay. And when I say this, let me get the time frame, right? So we're talking about a time frame. Before you get there, Mr. Cheek is holding a pepper spray in Mr. King's face. So that's threatening to use force, right? You said pepper spray is less than deadly force?
Yes.
Okay, so he's threatening to use less than deadly force, spray it in the face. By the way, have you been sprayed in the face with pepper spray?
Yes.
Part of your training?
Yes.
It's pretty unpleasant, right?
Yes.
Tell the jury how unpleasant it is.
It burns. It will shut your eyes, burn your eyes.
Really hard to breathe too, right?
Yeah, you cough a lot.
Yeah, you're supposed to breathe through your nose so you don't get in your lungs. So it gets in your lungs, it burns your lungs, right?
Yeah. But
We're having audio issues. Wait for it. I don't believe the whole breathe through your nose thing. Your nose still goes to your lungs. I mean, the air goes to your lungs. If the air doesn't get to your lungs, it doesn't matter how you breathe. It's not working, right? Just a second. Let's get this. The video keeps freezing. I think it's a problem out of the court. It's the third time it's happened today. Reminder, we have the au pair trial we're picking up tomorrow. Starts tomorrow. Phil, TYO Toys, just texted me earlier today, said, we've seated a jury. We're ready. Starts tomorrow. So that's going to be fun. Come on. Waiting for it to start back up again. Greeners, you have the internet, if you could fix that. I think Phil's going to be there for the duration. I'll talk to him and see. I'm not sure if he's... I don't think he's ever called into the show. Phil. Breathe through your eyes or your ears. Yes, that's better. Waiting for the fix here. Just 1 second. How's the weather in Ohio right now? Anybody? What's weird is we're getting the audio.
Show today.
There it is. So today what? It's very cold and clear. 27 degrees, clear skies, guys. No precipitation. Yeah, hold on. Let's jump to... Just trying to switch back and forth between courts to see if that'll fix it here. We need this one to work. Did they go sidebar or something? If we tried turning it off and on again, basically. Let me access it from another side. See if we can get it on channel 3. Warren County. Warren County Court 3 is still doing the same thing. They're struggling with it. We can hear making changes on their end. There we go. Stream went offline. This is what happens right before it comes back online, so it's all good. With a little luck, when we come back, the witness will be done on the stand. We won't have him anymore. I think their encoder's having some issues. Live stream offline. We'll give him a second. It's too easy to rip out an earring. Use the big hammer, says Twubble. Weather in Cincinnati is fine. The fight may have saved the defendant's life. They found a heart problem in the hospital for a broken arm. Okay, so that. How's your cat? The cat's doing well, although he's. YouTube wants us to watch other things. Although he's starting to pick a fight with some neighbor cats, some white cats that they're not friends. So they lay in the grass, looking at each other, holding like perfectly still and meowing at each other for a long time, and then eventually they'll go whole fisticuffs, fluff some fur, and then they lay down again and look at each other for a while. Has he been fixed? Yes, he hasn't been broken for a long time. He's been fixed, and they got his ear too. They dogged his ear. Warren County, they are gone. They've got the Common Pleas Court up. That's all we've got here. Well, we might be done with this trial. Bummer. I guess I could give you the recap of what I think. I haven't seen any evidence in the video that the officers were doing anything wrong, unfortunately. I say unfortunately. I say that's unfortunate for Mr. King, because if he swung on the officers first, he's in trouble. He did a bad thing. Looking everywhere for that feed is just not there. Judge McNally's not live. Judge Cedric Simpson, YouTube. Judge Simpson is not live. Oh, he was doing domestic violence stuff. Let's see if Judge Wolf is live. Nope. Judge Middleton. Nope, he hasn't been working today. So we have Judge O'Donnell. Wasn't that the Minecraft court? Let's see if we can find that. 5 hours ago, Josh, you had something for us this morning that we might be able to watch. Turn this down a bit. Yeah, we've got a Sovsit clip from Minecraft court that we're trying to find. I just need to find where in the timeline it happened. Might be right here. It was just a minute to get this right in place. There's a nice buzz. Hopefully that'll go away here.
The items were presented to Mr. Matthews.
I've been sick in the hospital.
Not sure if this is it.
Asked me to read it and what they are actually showing.
Why is it not?
Matthews, is that right, Ms. Bell?
That's correct, Your Honor.
I can't get to the beginning of this one. Like they just appear out of nowhere. Watch this. They'll teleport in like the next 10 seconds or so. It says 9:01:26 in the corner, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Where are they at?
The items were presented to Mr. Matthews, is that right, Ms.
Now we
Bell?
jump to 9:43.
Mr. Matthews?
Thank you, Your Honor. I am in receipt of this additional evidence. I did mention in chambers that I do have some concerns about the admissibility of these images without there being some sort of sufficient foundation as to how they are generated and what they are actually showing. But aside from that, Mr. Burrell has just asked me to file his certificate of live birth, and I do not know the relevance of that, and perhaps
what?
Is that something you want to address with the court, Mr. Burrell?
Yes, Your Honor. I've been sick in the hospital for a couple of days. I haven't had a chance to really file the paperwork that I want to file to the court. I have a certificate of live birth here that's stating my status.
What's your status?
Alive.
All right, I assume you're alive since you're sitting here.
Okay, but you know, sometimes the courts assume that you are a corporate entity.
Are you a corporate entity?
I'm not.
Okay, I don't assume you're a corporate entity. I assume that you're Mr. Burrell sitting in front of me.
So,
so you want to file a certificate of live birth to prove that you're a person?
I'm not a person.
What are you?
I'm not a citizen.
A living man.
Well, you said, are you a person or are you not a person?
I'm not a person. I'm indigenous.
What does that mean?
I'm an American. I was born in this country.
Okay.
I'm not a United States citizen. I'm not.
What are you?
What a definition.
What do you have citizen? What are you a citizen of? Are you a citizen of some other entity?
I'm not a citizen of anything.
You're not a citizen of anything.
No.
Okay.
A citizen is a corporate fiction.
A corporate fiction?
Yeah, I mean it's a definition. Like I said, this is the problem, Your Honor. Me and Mr. Matthews is having a hard time coming to an agreement about whether he's defending me or he's working with the prosecutor. We a lot of this evidence and stuff that's been presented to the court.
Nothing's been presented to me because we haven't had a trial yet.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. What's been presented to me, he's under the impression that I'm guilty or that he sees things that he doesn't see. And I've been trying, it's like we can't, if he's representing me or here on my behalf, then it's not showing.
Is it your position that you don't like how Mr. Matthews evaluated the evidence in this case as it relates to
not
you?
Not only the evidence, but just his whole attitude towards me, and period. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's clear I didn't have anything on me.
Well, that's why we have trials. The purpose of a trial is for 12 people to sit here, listen to the evidence, and make a decision as to whether you did or did not do what you're accused of doing beyond a reasonable doubt. If they find that you didn't do it beyond a reasonable doubt, then you're acquitted.
I agree, sir. But with that being said, it's things I'm asking him to do, and that it's my right for him to do whether or not he believes it's okay. So if I ask him to file something into the clerk of courts, it's my right to file those things.
So he's not filing something for you?
Well, I just asked him to, and he's made an argument of it when it should have just been something
What,
he did.
what was it that you asked him that he won't, that he's
What I
arguing?
wanted him to, just to have it on the record, was my certificate of live birth, whether or not you.
I mean, what is that? Tell me, let's say that the certificate of live birth is filed.
Okay.
What impact does that have on your trial?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
Not at all.
Well,
I do want it
Mr.
on record.
Matthews is under an obligation
I
as a
have no
member
clue.
of a lawyer in good standing with the Supreme Court to file things that are done in good faith and are relevant. I mean, you could ask Mr. Matthews to file a copy of your high school graduation certificate, and that has no relevance to this case, and he would be under no obligation to file it. So you want him to file your certificate of your certificate of live birth to show something that you if just told me you don't know that it means anything.
Well, I
It's
know that
relevant.
it means something. I just don't think that everybody else.
What does
knows
it mean?
Something. I just want on record that I'm not a citizen.
Well, you just said you are a citizen.
I never said I was a citizen.
You're an American.
I'm an American.
Okay, so if you're not a citizen, what impact does that have on your trial for next week?
I just want it on record.
Okay.
It's not. I don't need any impact on the trial.
If you believe, okay, and if I believe that the filing of your birth certificate means you're not a citizen, what impact does that have on your trial?
I'm not looking for an impact. I just want it on the record.
Well, it's on the
For my
record.
safety.
It's on the record. You believe you're not a citizen. Okay, now what?
All right, and then also I asked.
Well,
him-
no, wait. Let's take one thing at a time.
Okay.
You've put on the record, because she's recording all this.
Yeah,
okay,
I got that.
That you're not a citizen. Okay. So now what should we do as a result of that?
I mean, I just want my indigenous rights.
What are your indigenous rights?
You haven't looked at them?
No. You told me you want your indigenous rights. Tell me what your indigenous rights are.
Well, I know I fall under a certain constitution.
Which
and not
constitution?
under the American Constitution.
Okay, you fall under the American Constitution, okay?
I believe so, yeah.
So I believe so too.
You know, the Pope put out a letter to the rights of the indigenous people. Are you familiar with that?
I don't care what the Pope says. The Pope has no impact on the
Okay,
jurisdiction
then
of
let's
his
move
court.
forward, Your Honor.
Huh?
Let's skip the
move
Pope
forward.
part.
Whatever you decide. I also asked him for his oath of office and the prosecutor's oath of office. I have your oath of office. I just wanted to have those paperwork.
Okay.
for my
Anything
record.
else you want to say?
Nope, I'm here.
Okay, so
I'm
we're
good.
scheduled for, we're going to have this trial, jury trial, January 20th at 8 a.m. And you will be provided the jury questionnaires like you normally are. And you've, unless you have changes to your trial briefs, I've already got those. And anything else that we need to discuss regarding this trial?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Mr. Matthews?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, then you guys, everybody needs to be here at 7:45 on Tuesday morning.
Including the Pope.
All rise.
So that happened this morning. Thanks, Josh, for that one. Let's see. Let's see if we've got Warren County back. Warren County Court 3. Warren County Courtroom 3. Yeah, it's gone. They must be having some issues there. Well, something just happened in Thurston that we might want to watch. Thurston County Courts. Let's see, was it in 2?
$1,000 bench warrant.
Let's back up just a second. This started 12 minutes ago. Well, no, it started before that.
Start there. Morning, Mr. Witt. How are you?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm present on Barbosa, Philo, and James Rudd. Both, I hope, are ideally summary.
Okay. What was the first one again?
Last name is Barbosa, Philo. He's on Zoom as Madsen Barbosa, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's see. Mr. Barbosa, if you can hear us, can you turn your camera on? Let's make sure I can see you. Morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm well. How about yourself?
I'm fine, thanks. And then, Counsel for the City, we haven't met. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Yes, Your Honor. Shannon Eddy. I'm new with the City of Lacey.
Welcome. Yeah, nice to meet you. All right, so Mr. Barbosa is on for a trial confirmation here, 1 count harassment.
It says an employee must use care to avoid creating situations where an incarcerated person may attempt to assault the employee or others. Do you know if Mr. Chief and Mr. Hall used care to avoid creating a situation where there might be an assault?
No.
Now, at the beginning of the policy, it talks about a duty to de-escalate. You're familiar with that, right?
Yes.
So it says that staff are required to use interpersonal communication skills and behavioral intervention techniques to de-escalate a situation whenever it is safe or possible to do so. Do you know if Mr. Cheek or Mr. Hall did that?
Am I allowed to talk of what I saw in the video after the situation?
No, just what you saw. You're there 150
just what I saw
away,
right
you're
there.
Yelling.
No, I couldn't
Okay.
see what they were saying.
Do you know if they attempted to communicate or verbally interact with you to avoid using force?
No.
Do you know it says they should be mindful to create physical space between themselves and a hostile incarcerated person? And you saw it. They were pretty close to him, right, Mr. King?
Yeah, I mean,
Did you observe them creating physical space between themselves and Mr. King?
No.
Okay. And it even indicates they should do so against someone who does not pose a danger to self or others. Mr. King wasn't a danger to himself at that time, right?
Right.
He wasn't a danger to anyone else. There's no one else around, right?
Right.
So allowing for time and distance to be factors in managing an incarcerated person's behavior. Did you see them allow time and distance to manage Mr. King's behavior?
I mean, I couldn't tell exactly what they were doing at that point.
All right, fair enough. And then finally it says when initial efforts do not improve the situation and there is time and availability, staff should consider bringing crisis responders, crisis intervention team members, etc. in. Did you see them do that?
No. It's down again. Okay, Warren County Courts, Ohio, you need to fix your system. It's not working right. We'll give it a second to see if it becomes unstuck. If it doesn't, we're going to Thurston County and sticking with it. Okay, we're going to Thurston County live.
For cases, I did check both jails last night and no, so nothing to provide the court.
And Your Honor, that brings us to the city's concern that Mr. Morales should have been held in custody. His release was initially set in this matter. I believe it was set at $2,000 in the case that is pretrial. He was released on his own recognizance in the other 5 cases, but he should have been held. When I looked at the judgment and sentences that were in the court's file, it looks like the first one under the cause number ending in 5024 said PR, and then it looked like the court had issued a second one, but had like crossed out one of the other case numbers and written this case number on it and put the bail on there. So I don't know if that's part of the confusion, but I was surprised that he was not in custody. So I would ask that it be a warrant for $2,000 in the pretrial case, because that was the amount that bail had already been determined. And then I would ask for $1,000 on each of the other probation cases.
I'm gonna note for the record Mr. Morales' failure to appear on both the pretrial for the theft charge and for the FTCs for the probation cases. I'm not going to issue bench warrants for each individual probation, but I am going to issue a bench warrant in the theft case for $2,000. And since he shouldn't have been released in the first place, I'm going to make that a no walk warrant. All right, and that brings us to Old Right.
Defense has no information, Your Honor.
Okay. This was on for.
Actually, if we.
Yep.
My concern in going back to Mr. Morales is that I believe it's the issuing of a bench warrant that causes the tolling of probation. So I understand the court not wanting to make a very high bail, but I guess the city would ask the court respectfully to reconsider a $1 warrant on those cases just for the purposes of tolling.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I guess I hadn't considered that. All right, for the Morales matters, let's see how many there are. There's 5. For each of the FTCs in those matters, I'll issue a bench warrant in the amount of $250. But the previous bench warrant that I issued, the no walk for $2,000, that remains in effect for the theft charge that we're here for pretrial.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, no information on Mr. Oldright. Bench warrant to issue for $250 for each of the FTCs for 2217, 8384, and then a bench warrant for $1,000 in the theft charge. That's 7798 for Mr. Oldright's failure to appear today. Next is Parker. Samantha, she was on for a second pretrial today at 10.
It's my matter.
Yep, go ahead.
Unfortunately, I don't know why she's not present today.
Okay. Looked like she was, bench warrant was previously issued at least once in this case.
Looks like it was previously, I believe, $2,000, Your Honor. The city would make the same request this morning.
Yep. Bench warrants issued in the amount of $2,000 for Ms. Parker's failure to appear. Zola, Christina, this is yours, Ms. Langley. She's in for a pretrial for violation of protective order.
And I have no information.
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, what was the case?
This was Verzola, presenting at 9050. Bench warrant to issue in the amount of $1,000 for Ms. Verzola's failure to appear. All right, we did Ms. Watkins. We did Brazel. We did Anson. We did Litter. Is that all? That's all of them on my calendar? All right, we made it.
Everybody.
Thank you all for your time, your patience here today. Really appreciate it. Appreciate everybody staying over. I'd like to acknowledge on the record too. I appreciate the clerk staying over through the lunchtime. So appreciate y'all's hard work.
All right.
That, what's
bunch of bench warrants.
Again,
now
ran a check on Mr. Young. Mr. Young did not have a driver's license and was required to have an IID installed in his vehicle, which he did not. Deputy Mangan eventually requested permission to search the vehicle, which Mr. Young gave.
Did he find anything of police interest in the vehicle?
He did. He found a glass smoking device underneath the driver's seat. He found a small baggie with residue in the cup holder, and in the center console, he found another small gem baggie with a white crystalline substance in it.
Did he test either of those white crystalline substances for the presence of any controlled substances?
Yes, the one that was in the center console, he tested, field tested, and it came back positive for methamphetamines.
All right, jumping back to Warren.
Was...
Warren, are you there? They were live for a second and they just went down again. Oh. They switched to Judge Tepe courtroom. Ooh, okay. So which courtroom is that? Warren County courtrooms. It's not 2. Go to 4. Warren County courtroom 4. There we go. They had to get up and move. They had issues. We're back. I guess they did wait for us. Common Pleas Court. Everybody moved. Bailiff's on the other side. Prosecutor's on the other side. Defense is on the other side. We broke the 180-degree rule, if you know what that means in camera work. Everything's backwards. New backdrop, military flags, podium.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We've just dropped into this weird mirror universe now, where everything is reversed from where it was before. So we're all going to try to figure out. It does mess with your head. We've done this once before, and it is very unusual. But we'll get here in a minute. All right, Mr. Engel, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, on the videotape, when you approached the fight that's going on, that was you using your fist to punch Mr. King?
Yes.
How many times did you punch him?
I don't know.
Okay, and after every time you punched him, did you see if he was complying, or did you just keep punching him?
Yeah, we were trying to see if he was trying to get him to cuff up, and he was just continued to fight back.
Okay, so when people watch that videotape, I mean, I saw it looked like you were just going bang, 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 bang. Is that accurate?
I guess that's kind of accurate, yeah.
Okay. Was Mr. King intoxicated?
I don't know.
You didn't note that in your report, though, right?
No.
Okay. If you had noted, back up. If you had observed him being intoxicated, that's probably an important fact that you would have noted in your report, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the fact that it's not in your report is a pretty good indication that you didn't believe he was intoxicated.
I mean, I didn't have any evidence to say that he was intoxicated, but
You didn't observe him walking like he was drunk?
no,
You didn't observe an odor of alcoholic beverage on his breath?
no.
Okay, and you were right up close to him, right? If he had smelled of alcohol, you would have smelled it, right?
I mean, I don't know if I would have smelled it in the heat of the moment with what was going on at that time, but
But if you had smelled it, you would have noted it in your report,
yeah,
because that's a pretty important fact.
yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
Anything else for this witness? Hold on just a second, please.
Just a couple questions, Your Honor.
Okay.
Officer Ellsroth, is holding a pepper spray can or an OC spray can up to an incarcerated person, is that considered to be a use of force?
No, no,
Does it actually have to be deployed to be considered a use of force?
yeah.
Okay. Mr. Engel asked you about your use of force report. Do you have an opportunity to review the videos from the yard or your body worn camera before you fill out the use of force reports?
A lot of times, yes.
Okay, how about in this particular instance? Do you remember, did you view those videos before you filled out the use of force, or did you fill out the use of force prior to viewing the videos?
I got to view the videos before filling it out.
Okay, so you watched the videos before? Okay. Okay, I have no further questions for you. Thank you.
Anything else for this witness, Mr. Engel?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you. You can step down. Next witness?
Next witness will be Officer Cheek.
These mics are 100 times better than my mics.
These mics are 100 times better than my mics. Now he's jealous.
Are your mics like this? Like picking up a lot better.
Sometimes it's almost too loud if I listen to something, I get kind of.
The bailiffs are having lunch, as am I.
All right, we're going to go straight ahead there to Ms. Karilka.
Do you swear affirm the testimony from these proceedings will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You may be seated.
All right, sir, once you get yourself settled up there, give us your first and last name, and if you could spell your name for the record.
Matthew Cheek, Mathewcheek.
All right, and how are you employed?
I'm a corrections officer at Warren Correctional Institution.
And how long have you been with Warren Correction?
4 years.
4 years?
Yes.
All right, employed as a correction officer that entire time?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and can you tell us a little bit about what your duties entail as a corrections officer?
Well, currently I am 4th shift special duty relief officer. So I go to different posts that are special duty wise, chapel, education, vocational. I do transports, Sallyport.
Basically where they need you, you
Yes,
go.
where they need me to go is where I go.
Okay, and how long have you been in that position?
Roughly 2 years.
Okay, is that the capacity of your employment on July the 11th of 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and were you working on that date?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you recall what hours you were working on?
I was working 7 to 3. 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. I apologize.
That's okay. You're fine. All right. And where was your particular assignment on that day?
I was the chapel officer.
And what does that mean?
I go up to the chapel. I make sure that individuals that come up there have their passes for their religious services. Make sure that it's clean up there, the safety of volunteers, the safety of the inmates.
Okay. And where is the chapel in relation to the rec yard?
It's right next door to the rec yard. So if you're looking at the chapel, to the left-hand side, there's the recreation.
Okay. Excuse me. And Officer Cheek, are you familiar with the defendant in this matter, Todd King?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. How are you familiar with Mr. King?
He was an inmate at Warren Correctional Institution.
All right. And did you, through your employment, did you have occasion to interact with him at all?
I've interacted with him before, yes, ma'am.
Okay. In what capacity?
Just hi, bye, how are you doing?
Okay. Ever have any issues with Mr. King?
No, ma'am.
All right. And we're going to focus now on July the 11th. And on that day of 2024, on that day, did you become involved in an incident, situation between Mr. King and Investigator Hall?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And you know Investigator Hall.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you know him?
He is the investigator at Warren Correctional Institution.
All right. And how, tell us what drew your attention to the defendant on this particular day.
So I was in the chapel, I guess, lobby area. Inmates were coming in. I was checking their IDs, their passes, making sure that they were allowed to be there that day. Then I happened to look outside. I seen Inmate King and Investigator Hall. I didn't know what their interaction was. I seen Investigator Hall pull his cuffs out. Then I seen Inmate King back away. So I then went outside to see what was going on, to see if he needed any assistance. I then heard
Investigator Hall?
Yes, Investigator Hall.
Okay.
I then went outside and I heard clear verbal directives from JT Hall to tell Inmate King to cuff up. He was refusing all directives.
Okay. What made you decide to intervene in this situation?
Because Inmate King was being non-compliant and ignoring all clear verbal directives from Investigator Hall.
Okay. Tell us what it means to cuff up.
That means to place your hands behind your back so we can safely put restraints on the inmate for their safety and ours.
Okay. And you overheard Investigator Hall issuing this command to the defendant?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know why Investigator Hall was issuing a cuff up?
At the time, no, I did not.
Was that important to you to know why?
No, it was not.
Okay. What's proper procedure when you insert yourself into a situation like this?
Basically, clear verbal directives.
Okay.
Keep a monotone.
Okay. Meaning what?
Just basically enough to where they can clearly hear what you're saying.
Okay. Is part of the process increasing your volume of your voice?
After multiple clear verbal directives, sometimes you do have to raise your voice a little bit.
Okay. Do you think during this interaction, were you yelling at Mr. King?
No, I do not believe I was yelling at Inmate King.
Okay. Were you using a stern tone of voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What were you directing him to do?
When I walked outside?
Yep.
I walked outside. I then told Inmate King to cuff up. I then broadcasted to him that if he did not cuff up, that OC spray would be utilized.
Okay. And what is OC spray?
Pepper spray.
Okay. Have you ever had occasion to come into contact with pepper spray?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Under what circumstance?
Just use of the forces, inmate fights, other staff assaults.
Sort of incidental contact?
Yes.
Okay.
So you spray it all the time?
How does it feel when you get pepper sprayed?
Just burning, makes your eyes water, coughing.
Okay. So tell us what you did next. You issued the directive to him.
Yeah.
Right?
And then
Did he comply?
He acted like he was going to. JT then asked inmate King, said, "Are you going to comply or to cuff up?" Inmate King said, "Yes, I will cuff up."
Okay, and when he said, yes, I will cuff up, what did you think was going to happen?
I assumed that inmate King was going to comply and let JT Hall put hand restraints on him.
Okay, now let's back it up just a little bit. So when you are issuing your orders to cuff up, when Investigator Hall is issuing his orders to cuff up, did you have your OC spray out?
At the beginning, don't think so, but at the end of it, yes, I did.
Okay, and why did you take out your OC spray?
To just in case I had to utilize to gain compliance.
Okay, was there a time that you thought he was not going to comply?
At the beginning, yes, but then he then stated to us that, yes, I will comply to be cuffed up.
Okay, and was he exhibiting any signs to make you think he was not going to comply at that point?
No, ma'am.
Okay. What are pre-aggression indicators?
Pulling your pants up, balling your fist, the way you stand, way you move your feet,
Okay.
constant eye jerking.
Okay. So those are examples, but what is a pre-aggression indicator? Like, what does that mean?
That means that they're ready to fight.
Okay. A clue that they're going to fight.
Yes.
Are you trained on pre-aggression indicators?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How are you trained?
I do annual training classes,
Okay.
DTSC and stuff like that, ma'am.
Part of your annual training?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when an inmate is showing pre-aggression indicators, what are you supposed to do for your training?
Create distance.
Okay. Meaning step away from them?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
If it's severe enough to utilize OC spray to prevent any assaultive behavior.
Okay. What is de-escalation?
Talking to them, trying to understand the situation.
Is that part of your training as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is that part of your training on something you're supposed to do when someone is showing pre-aggression indicators?
No, ma'am. If
No?
they're showing pre-aggression indicators, that means that they are basically at their peak.
Okay. So we've moved beyond de-escalation if they're showing pre-aggression indicators?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Now, back in the moment, Mr. King says he's going to comply, he's going to cuff up.
Yes.
And you said he's not showing any pre-aggression indicators at this point?
No, he put his hands behind his back.
Okay. So what was your intent at that point?
He's going to cuff up. I did put my pepper spray by my side. JT Hall went to the other side of inmate King to place him in restraints. At that time, when JT Hall was behind him, he then quickly turned around and gave a close-fisted strike to JT's facial area.
Okay. And where were you positioned when this happened?
I was almost completely in front of inmate King.
Okay. And do you know, can you describe why you were in that position?
Just to see if anything was going to happen. At that time, I did not see any indicators, anything like that.
Okay. And you said you had lowered your OC spray at that point?
Yes, at that time, it was by my side.
Okay. Had you deployed it in any capacity?
Not at that time, no.
Okay. Yeah, I'm talking about right at that time. What does it take to deploy OC spray? Like, what do you do? How do you deploy
You just take it out of the holster, you put your thumb in it and pull it and push it.
Is it like a trigger?
No, it's just like a little pin, flat pin.
Okay. So you push on the pin?
Yes.
All right. And how much pressure does it take to deploy it?
Not very much.
Okay. Could you deploy it accidentally?
Yes.
Okay. When OC spray is deployed, does it make a sound?
Just like a hissing sound.
Like a hissing sound?
Yes.
Okay. You can hear it coming out of the canister?
Yes.
Okay.
Why we need to
All
know
right.
that, I don't know. Sounds like spray.
Once he made contact with Investigator Hall, what happened next?
Then I did disperse OC which was ineffective.
Okay, meaning what?
He then started to close the distance between us two, and then I was forced to go hands-on for my safety.
Okay. And do you know where Investigator Hall was during this point?
No.
Okay. Were you worried about where Investigator Hall was at this point?
No, I was worried about my safety.
Okay. And at this point, was anyone else besides the three of you involved?
No, it was, at the beginning, it was just us three.
Okay. Other officers eventually
Yes, ma'am.
showed up, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, including Officer Elzerell?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Officer Cheek, what if the defendant had complied and cuffed up as you thought he was going to?
Mm-hmm.
What would have happened next? What was the next step?
With that right there, I do not know.
There was an
Hold on just a
objection.
second. Nature of your objection?
Calls for speculation.
I'll overrule the objection. Go ahead and answer if you can.
He says, I do
So
not
if
know.
he had, my question is, had he complied at that point and cuffed up, what would have happened next?
With that, I do not know. I do not know. I didn't know why Investigator Hall was instructing him to be placed in cuffs.
Okay. All right.
So I'm assuming that he would have
Hold on. If he says he doesn't know, let's move on to a different
okay.
question.
Yeah, you don't assume for me,
Okay.
okay? You do not know.
Okay.
Okay. On the date that this happened, were you equipped with a body worn camera?
Yes, I was.
All right, and was it functioning properly?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you've had an opportunity to view that video, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So at this point, officer, I have marked that video, I think as State's Exhibit number 1. And if you could switch me over there.
Judge, can we
And
watch?
If you could, before we start watching here, just kind of give us a landscape here, orient us as to where we are and what we're looking at, okay?
Okay, well, right now-
The screen in front of you is a
Yeah.
touch screen, so.
Okay. So right here is the rec area. Behind me is the chapel. And then to the left of us is considered the low road housing units.
Okay, and.
So you took the low road? What is he saying?
Where on your body do you wear your camera?
At this day, I think I had it right in the center mass.
Okay, so
my
right on your
beard.
chest, so that's kind of the perspective we've got. On the screen that we're looking at, do we see, what are we looking at up here?
Oh, that's the
in
rec
this
area. To show you where I was. Right there is Officer Elger.
Okay, in the red, right here.
Yes.
Correct? All
Yes.
right.
It'll clear the whole screen, everything that you
Oh,
do,
okay.
just like right on top.
Okay.
Got it? All right.
Turn around. King, turn around now. Final directive to turn around or I will spray you.
Judge.
No, they sprayed nobody.
Turn around and cuff up.
Cuff up what? What was your order? Turn around. You said give you the ear.
Okay, turn around and cuff up. Turn around now.
Nice.
I will spray you.
I'm asking you nice. I'm gonna ask you nicely to turn around.
It was under the bird.
Are you gonna do it or not? Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Then turn around. Drop the trash.
Drop the trash. Give me your other arm. Cuff up. Give me your other arm. Cuff up. Cuff up. Give me your
on him. I got cuffs right here, sir. Get up and put cuffs on him. Put cuffs on him. Relax, relax. I can't see. All right.
I got you.
Everybody off.
Chief, I got you.
Everybody off.
Okay, I'm going to pause it at 1 minute and 36 seconds into the video. And I'm going to go back just a little bit.
That was the beard cam. I was joking that he wore it under his beard, but now I know why he grows up. Why all the guards grow out their beards, apparently.
Do you know how long the interaction between Investigator Hall and the defendant was going on before you arrived?
No, I do not.
Okay. We're going to go right about here, which is 23 seconds into the video. Okay?
Hey, nice. I'm going to ask you nicely to turn around.
Pause it right there, and if I can get the bottom screen. Down here where my arrow is this the hand that you had the OC spray in?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And were you deploying it?
No, I was
Okay.
not.
Do you know if the trigger was accidentally brushed or anything at that point?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And further into the video where we had stopped, I think, are you the one saying I can't see?
I'm sorry.
Are you the one saying I can't see further in on the video? We can go.
Are you going to do it or not?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Then turn around. Drop the trash. Drop the trash. Give me your other arm. Cuff up. Give me your other arm. Cuff up. Cuff up. Give me your other arm. Cuff up. Cuff up now.
All right, I'm going to pause it right there. 1 minute and 9 seconds into the video. There's several commands there to cuff up. Is that you were hearing on the?
Yeah, one of them, yes.
One of them?
Yes.
Okay. Where the camera's the angle's a little odd here. I think we got a good picture of your beard going on. But where is inmate King at this
on the ground.
point? He is on the ground?
Yes.
Okay. Face up, face down? Do you recall?
I do not recall.
Okay. Is he complying at this point?
No, he is not.
What is he doing at this point?
I could not. I don't recall what he was doing. I
Okay.
just know he was not complying with our directives to.
Okay. Was
to
he
cuff
putting
up.
his hands behind his back at all?
No, he was not.
Okay.
Somebody put cuffs on him. I got cuffs right here, sir. Get up and put cuffs on him. Put cuffs on him.
At this point, we're at 1 minute 26 seconds in. Is he complying at this point?
What is it?
Is he complying at this point in
Yes,
the
ma'am.
video?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you know what was the turning point? When did he start complying and why?
I could not tell you that.
You don't know?
No.
Okay. But at this point, hands are behind the back and he's getting secured, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I'm going to show you one other thing. I'm going to take a look at the video from the yard, which I believe you've seen as well, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is, for the record, this is State's Exhibit number 6. And I'm going to start this, and if you could give us, once I get it into the right screen, again, just sort of like an orientation of what and who we're looking at here.
All right, so
Okay?
to the left is inmate King.
Okay?
And then with the tan looking pants on right by him,
Mm-hmm.
that's Investigator Hall.
Okay.
And behind Investigator Hall is me.
Okay, and you got
and
sort of dark pants and a tan
yes,
shirt?
yes, ma'am. And then over here to the red,
Okay.
that's Ellsroth.
That's Ellsroth?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Now, going back to this individual right here, you said this is Mr. King with the dark clothing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what is this white thing that's
That's a trash bag.
That's a trash bag? Why
Yes.
did he have a trash bag? Do you know?
Because at the time he was the individual that walked around the compound and picked up trash.
Okay.
He just went everywhere.
Okay. All right. And we're going to take a look at this. Okay. And I'm going to pause it right there. Are you able to tell what's going on right there? You can go a little bit further.
JT Hall went to the other side of inmate King to attempt to place him in cuffs.
Okay.
And right there you can see inmate King striking JT Hall.
Okay. And did you witness Investigator Hall striking the defendant at all?
No, ma'am.
Did you witness Investigator Hall making a move towards the defendant?
No, ma'am.
Other than trying to place cuffs on him?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you hear Investigator Hall make any threats towards the defendant?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and we kind of see Investigator Hall get back into the frame there, correct?
Yes.
Did he re-engage that you know of?
The only thing that I know that he did, he deployed OC spray
Okay, and how do you know he deployed OC spray?
because I got sprayed.
You got sprayed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in the face?
Yes, ma'am.
How'd that feel?
It burned a little bit.
Okay. Did it affect your vision at all?
It just makes your eyes water a little bit.
Okay. Maybe makes things a little blurry?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And, officer, what kind of, well, I should ask, do you receive training as to use of force through Warren Correctional?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What kind of training do you receive?
Pepper spray, DTSE,
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
DTSE.
What is that?
It's basically like self-defense.
Okay. All right. And, are you familiar with the use of force policy through?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what circumstances would a staff be able to use less than lethal force?
To gain compliance of a non-compliant inmate.
Okay. And after a use of force, is there a procedure that has to be followed?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about that.
So obviously here, after the use of force, an MER would have to be done, which is a medical exam report.
Okay.
So that would have to be done in medical, by a nurse.
Okay. And are you referring to the inmate?
Inmate and staff.
And staff?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody's got to go to medical?
Yes.
Okay. And is that true in any use of force, regardless of what it is?
Yes.
Okay. And what happens after that?
The inmate would go to TPU holding cell.
What's TPU?
Segregation.
Okay. And why is that?
For the investigation.
Okay. Investigation into the use of force?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then how about you as a staff member?
I
What happens with you?
I would go to medical, get looked at by the nurse, make sure I have no wounds, anything like that. And then I would go to shift office and do my use of force report.
Okay, and what is the use of force report?
Basically, it's all the circumstances and everything that led up to the use of force, my actions in the use of force, the outcome of the use of force.
Okay.
It's interesting that the
Is
white
there a
shirt
time
showed
frame
up
as to when a use of
and was
force
yelling,
report
"Get off him,
needs
get
to
off
be
him."
filled out?
I'm not for sure the exact time.
Okay. Do you recall in this particular incident, how long was it between the incident and when you filled out the use of force report?
I do believe it was within the hour.
Within an hour?
Yeah.
Okay. When you filled out the use of force report here, Had you seen the videos that we looked at?
No, ma'am.
Okay. When did you first see those?
Whenever
If you recall.
I've seen it one time. I can't remember when I did.
Okay, but you're certain you had not viewed them before you filled out the use of force report?
No, ma'am, I have not.
All right. After the report is filled out, who is it submitted to, do you know?
I do not know.
Okay. What happens to it? I mean, what do you physically do with it?
I route it to the supervisor that is handling the whole use of force packet.
Okay. And reference this particular incident, were you ever asked to speak to any sort of investigator?
Over this, I don't recall if I got interviewed for this or not.
Okay. Is that a typical procedure that is in place for you to be interviewed? I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I'm using the you collective. You
Yes,
figures
yes.
out. Okay. All right. But you don't recall?
I do not recall.
In this one? Okay. All right. Officer Chief, you see the person in the courtroom we've been discussing today, Mr. King?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me where he's seated and what he's wearing, please?
He's sitting right behind you with a blue shirt on, hoodie on.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, sir. I have no further questions for you at this point. Okay,
right,
pass the
thank you.
witness.
Mr. Engel, you may inquire.
Who broke Mr. King's arm?
Not for sure.
Did you?
I don't know
How did it
who.
break?
I'm not for sure how it broke.
Is that common that inmates' arms get broken?
No, sir.
Overruled.
Now, it's inmates, they're people, right? You have to treat them with respect?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just because they've been convicted of a crime doesn't mean you can abuse them, right?
That is correct.
Okay. So, for example, you can't just tell someone to cuff up because you feel like it. You have to have a reason.
I can have anybody cuff up at any time to do a pat down search or a strip out search if I feel like they have any contraband on their body at any time.
Right. So, in other words, you can ask them to cuff up because you have a reason to search
Yes.
them. Right. You can't just walk down the streets, down the pathway and say, I don't like inmate Smith, make him cuff up and put him in segregation or something.
No.
So you arrive at this scene. Let's put on the other. I'm going to switch to the video here.
Yeah, if
Are
you
we
guys,
plugged in, Mr. Engel?
if
We
you
should be,
if
yes,
you had to
Your Honor.
leave and came back, everything did switch. The courtroom was having problems
I
with
don't
their
think
video,
everything's in a different place.
and they switched to a different courtroom to go live again.
Oh,
There you go.
Here we go.
So
Same
let's go to the
trial,
beginning
everything's
of your
reversed.
tape. First, you don't see much. And at the beginning of the tape, you're just walking up on the scene, right?
Yes.
And all you know is that Mr. Hall had asked Mr. King to cuff up.
Yes.
You didn't know why he was being asked to cuff up.
No, he was being given clear verbal directives to cuff up.
I understand. And you can hear that on the tape, right?
Yes.
Okay. But you don't know why he had been given that directive.
No, I do not.
So you don't know if, for example, Mr. Hall was being arbitrary and just picking on Mr. King.
Yes.
Yes, you don't know that.
No, yes, I don't know that.
Okay.
If he
So
wasn't
what
on.
efforts did you make to determine whether Mr. Hall had a good reason to ask Mr. King to cuff up?
At the time, Investigator Hall was giving clear verbal directives for inmate King to cuff up, and he was being non-compliant.
Okay, but that wasn't my question. My question was, what efforts did you make to determine whether Mr. Hall had a good reason to ask?
I don't know if he had a good reason to tell inmate King to cuff up, sir.
Did you make any efforts to find that out?
No, sir.
Okay, but you see this confrontation between Hall and King?
Yes.
Okay, now, Mr. Hall is subject to the use of force policy too, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so for example, if I could have that screen here on it.
Maybe.
You don't know whether Mr. Hall was verbally or physically provoking or abusing Mr. King, do you?
Before I came outside, no, I did not.
Okay. Did you make any effort to determine whether Mr. Hall was verbally or physically provoking or abusing Mr. King?
No, sir.
You don't know whether Mr. Hall had created the situation where Mr. King may attempt to assault him?
No, sir.
What efforts did you make to determine whether Mr. Hall had created that situation?
There was none.
You made no effort.
No, sir.
Now, you're also aware that there's a, without going into the details that we did before, a duty to de-escalate, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I think you talked about that in your testimony.
Yes.
Okay, you said, I think in your testimony you said that you should create distance between an employee and an inmate, right?
Yes, when there's pre-assaultive indicators.
Okay, but you didn't see any pre-assaultive indicators, right?
No.
Okay, and so you had no reason to believe that Mr. King was going to engage in any kind of force, right?
No, sir.
Okay, but you decided you were going to hold your pepper spray right up into his face anyway.
I did not hold it to his face, sir.
Well, if I
There was distance between my.
Okay, there was distance, what?
No, there was roughly 2 foot, sir.
Roughly 2 foot,
Yep.
which is pretty close to pepper spray, right? That stuff comes out pretty fast and hard.
The can that I have, it was not a stream.
Okay.
It is something that comes out and goes. It's area contaminated.
Okay, air conditioner, but it's really unpleasant to get it in his face.
But yes, that's true.
Okay, and 2 feet, that's not creating distance, is it?
No, sir.
Okay, and so what interpersonal communication skills did you do to de-escalate the situation with Mr. King?
I broadcasted to him that if he did not cuff up, that I was going to spray him.
Okay. And so, now, I'm confused, because it sounds to me like spraying someone is an escalation, not a de-escalation. Where am I wrong about that?
I did not spray him.
Okay.
At that point in time, I broadcasted to him to de-escalate the situation of what would happen if he did not cuff up. If he did not cuff up, then I would spray him.
Okay, and so you threatened to spray him if he didn't comply with the orders?
I did not threaten him. I broadcasted to him what would happen.
Okay, so you're differentiating between the word broadcast and threaten?
No, I'm telling you that what I did was I broadcasted to him to let him know.
So you told him, broadcast, the word
Yes, broadcast.
I want to make sure I understand your word broadcast, because you're not using your radio, right?
I'm sorry?
You're not using your radio to talk, right?
No.
You're not using a microphone to talk, right?
No, I'm not.
You're not using anything to amplify your voice, right?
No, I'm not.
You're not on an FM or AM radio, right?
No, sir.
So you're using the term broadcast, you mean I told him, right? Let's use plain words.
It's called broadcasting, sir.
Okay, I use plain words. If I say you told him to do that, am I incorrect?
Yeah, but what we use is we use broadcast. We let them know what would happen.
Right. You let him know that if he didn't comply with the command, you're going to spray him in the face with this.
I didn't say in the face, sir.
You told him you're going to spray him, right?
Yes, that is correct.
And the spray was pointed towards his face, right?
His facial area, yes, sir.
Yeah, so his reasonable assumption would be if I don't comply, you're going to spray me in the face.
I would assume so.
Okay. What did you do at that moment then when he doesn't initially comply to de-escalate the situation?
I gave him a final directive.
Okay, so you just repeated what you did. You didn't do anything to back off, right?
No, sir.
Did you attempt to, other than telling him, other than broadcasting to him that you're going to spray him, did you communicate or verbally interact with him to avoid using force?
At that point in time, I did not use force.
Did you create physical space between yourself and Mr. King?
There was space between us.
Okay, did you create more physical space?
No, I did not, because there was no pre-indicators.
Okay, he didn't pose a danger to himself, right?
No.
Did you allow time and distance to manage his behavior?
Yes. I left time. He then said that he was going to cuff up.
Now, in your testimony, you said something a little bit different. You said that de-escalation is talking to them, trying to understand their situation. Do you remember
Yes.
saying that? What words did you broadcast to Mr. King in order to try to understand his situation?
To let him know that if he did not cuff up, that he would end up being sprayed.
Okay. Explain to me how that is an effort to try to understand his situation. Those were your words.
Yes,
How were you trying to understand his situation by telling him, cuff up or I will spray you?
because at that point in time, he was already given clear verbal directives to be placed in cuffs.
I understand that. I want to know what you did because you said that you're supposed to understand his situation. I want to know what you did to try to understand his situation.
If he would have cuffed up, then we could have spoke about it.
Did you, before he did it, did you ask him why he was arguing with Mr. Hall?
No, I did not.
But you didn't even know if he was arguing with Mr. Hall, right?
I walked outside and JT Hall was giving him clear verbal directives to be placed in cuffs.
But you don't know what happened before that, I think.
No, I do not.
Now, if we can go back to the videotape here.
Spray you.
The sound isn't going through the thing. Actually, I want to go up to 30 seconds here.
Because they're being quite reasonable in that part.
Now, is it your testimony that Mr. King took a swing at Mr. Hall before pepper spray was in his face?
No. I said that pepper spray was utilized after he struck JT Hall in the face.
Okay, I think that's what I meant to say. So that's, I just want to be clear. Your testimony is the course of events was Mr. King strikes Mr. Hall, and then you deployed pepper spray.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it possible you deployed pepper spray at this moment, approximately 30 seconds in there, before Mr. King takes a swing at Mr. Hall?
No, no, sir.
We don't have any audio.
Now, was Mr. King intoxicated?
I'm not a medical trained professional to make that determination, sir.
Okay, you don't need to be, right? You've been around people who are intoxicated, right?
I can say yes.
Yeah, anyone can say yes, right? You've been around friends who might have had too much to drink.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Or even a little to drink, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's things you see, like bloodshot eyes, sometimes the people who've been drinking.
Yeah, but different people take alcohol any intoxicating substance different.
Odor of alcoholic beverage, you might smell in their breath that they're intoxicated.
Possible, yes.
Okay. Did you notice any alcohol on Mr. King?
No, I did not.
Did you notice anything that that would indicate to you as a layperson that he was intoxicated?
No, sir.
Okay. And if you had, you would have noted that in your report, right?
I would assume so, yes.
Yeah, because when you do these conduct reports and use of force reports, it's important to include all the key details, right?
Yes.
So if you didn't include in that report, it's fair to say you didn't observe it.
I would say so, yes.
We've got one bailiff in the courtroom and then 2 standby bailiffs. The standby guys are super relaxed. Judge is writing an email asking for new mics in his courtroom because these ones are so much better.
Are you aware that Mr. King was taken to Ohio State Medical Center eventually?
No, that's what I heard, yes, sir.
Okay, and that was to treat his broken arm?
His alleged broken arm, yes, sir.
Well, not alleged, it actually was broken.
I don't know if it was broken or not, sir.
You have no reason to doubt that it was broken, right?
I don't know.
If the medical records from the nurses at Warren say it was broken, it probably was broken, right?
I did not speak to the nurse about the situation, sir.
Not what I asked. You have no reason to doubt those records would be accurate.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah.
You're not suggesting someone.
Why is he so
doctored
belligerent?
Records or anything like that.
No.
Okay. And those records will speak for themselves. We don't need you to testify to that.
Okay.
anything else.
Okay, you're familiar that Mr. King uses an inhaler?
No, I do not.
But you said you were familiar with it from before, right?
Yes, but I've never heard of him using an inhaler, sir.
Okay. If you later learn that he did use an inhaler, you have no reason to doubt that's true.
I can't confirm or deny that he uses one.
Okay. I have nothing else, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything else for this witness?
Officer Chief, did you see,
Did I screw that up?
did you see Investigator Hall provoking or abusing the defendant?
No, ma'am.
Did the defendant indicate to you in any capacity that Investigator Hall was treating him poorly, provoking him, abusing him?
No, ma'am.
Now, Mr. Angle had you take a look at, Defendant's Exhibit C, which is the use of force policy. You're familiar with that policy, correct?
Yes.
And he went through the de-escalation and behavioral trainings. In fact, he still has his up there, so I'm going to use his. He went through these procedures with you on your cross, correct?
Yeah.
All right. And it's A, B, and C. But if we flip over to the next page, there's actually a D and an E there, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you actually have a duty under this policy to announce or broadcast.
Yes, ma'am.
To, using your terminology, broadcast to an incarcerated person the type of force that may be used if they do not comply.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Under D, staff shall warn the IP that planned force may have to be used to resolve the situation when it's safe and possible to do so. Was it safe and possible for you to do so?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you warning the defendant as to the amount of force or the force that would be used?
Yes, ma'am.
Had he not complied?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And again, under E, the very next one down, staff shall allow the incarcerated person a final opportunity to comply with the order once the necessary staff are assembled prior to the commencement of the planned force. Okay? You use the term final directive in your testimony.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us what a final directive is?
So, a final directive is you give clear verbal directives to an inmate. If they do not comply, you give them a final verbal directive, and then force could be utilized to gain compliance, so no other force has to be utilized.
By issuing that final directive to the defendant on that day, were you complying with Section E that we're looking at here of the use of force policy?
Yes, ma'am.
By issuing a final opportunity for him to comply?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Strangle, anything
Nothing
else for this
further, Your
witness?
Honor.
Thank
I
you,
think
sir.
the
You can
defendant
step
was in
down.
the wrong.
Thank you.
That's my personal standing.
Next witness?
But I
Next
also
witness
think
is Investigator Hall.
Do we want to start with Investigator Hall today?
yeah, start with him.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Court's pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, are we good to go till 5 today? Okay.
Okay.
Seems like a nice round number.
I think there are things that that these corrections officers were doing that fit within the guidelines that allow them to use a lot. I'd say abuse their authority, but be within their guidelines. Does that make sense? Like, there is no doubt in my mind that there was almost zero concern in their thoughts about, now that we've got him to the ground, quick, let's get a hold of his hands. It was, he punched one of us, we're getting him. And I think that's wrong. He's the guy who's sick, right?
All right, sir. We're going to do our best today to get through your testimony. So let's get started and give us your name, please.
My name is Jason T. Hall. I'm also known as JT Hall, so if you hear JT a lot,
That's you, right?
that's me.
Okay. All right. And how are you currently employed?
I'm currently employed with the state of Ohio with the Department of Rehabilitation and Correction at Warren Correctional. I've been employed with the state of Ohio now for almost 31 years, 30 and a half years. I spent 25 years at Lebanon Correctional, and I spent the last few years at Warren Correctional.
All right. And in what capacity are you employed?
I'm currently an investigator at Warren Correctional. I've been an investigator since 2011, where I've also been an investigator at Lebanon, and I came to Warren in 2020. Prior to that, I was accreditation manager, and prior to that, I was a lieutenant, and I've also been a correction officer.
Okay. Jack of all trades.
Overtime.
Overtime. All right. Tell us, give us a little bit of explanation as to what your job entails as an investigator.
As a prison investigator, my job is to do administrative investigations, which could be on staff or inmates. Also do investigations that could deal with the property that we're on. When I do these investigations, I look for rules of conduct. For staff, you look for rules that standards for employee conduct that could have been violated. And then at any time, if any of that becomes criminal, then I call OIS, this Highway Patrol, and the Highway Patrol has an investigative trooper that will look at it for possible criminal charges.
Okay, so you handle more of the administrative side versus OSP doing the criminal side. Is that fair?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, are there specific investigators that is with OSP that are assigned to each prison?
Yes.
Okay. And who are the investigators that are assigned to Warren, if you know?
Right now, it's Trooper Byron. They change every 6 months, but they come from OIS's, which is located down in Westchester.
Okay. And at the time of the incident that we're talking about, which would have been July of 2024, who was the investigator assigned?
That had been Trooper Klontz, who's now Sergeant Klontz, as he was promoted.
Okay. And he's actually at a different post now, correct? Out in Jackson, if I'm
That's correct.
not mistaken. All right. Okay, so we've had a lot of talk about Warren Correctional. Why don't you go ahead and give the jurors some information as to what it is, what happens there, just kind of describe the facility for us.
Warren Correctional is a level 3 facility. If you're familiar with both of them, Warren and Lebanon, both of them's level 3 facilities within our correction system. Warren Correctional, well, both institutions are basically the same, but they house offenders who've been convicted of a felony offense. Doing time, it could be from 1 year, it could be a life sentences. Warren Correctional does have an additional what they call RTU treatment program that has inmates residential treatment units. Warren Correctional has level 1, 2, and 3 inmates that house themselves there. So if they mess up at Warren Correctional or Lebanon Correctional administratively, an inmate then would go to your Lucasville or OSP at Youngstown.
Okay, so how do the levels work? 1, 2, is 1 the highest?
Oh, level 1's the lowest. Level 1's are the ones that you might see on the side of the road in brown khakis, or you might see them on 75 or 71 picking up trash. Those are level 1's, very low, no violent offenses. Level 2's, then it goes up to a level 4. It used to be 5, but it goes up to a level 4, which is maximum security, which is, if you're from here, you always hear about the Lucasville SOCF area.
Okay. All right, and at any given time, approximately how many inmates are housed at Warren?
At Warren, we have approximately 1,000 inmates that are housed there.
Okay. And what kind of ratio is there inmate to corrections officer, if you know?
I really don't know that amount, but I can tell you that 2 officers will work a housing unit that would contain maybe 128 inmates, I believe. So that's usually what the housing units consist of.
Okay. So I'm going to direct your attention to July the 11th of 2024. Obviously, you were employed in your capacity as an investigator, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And at that time, were you familiar with the defendant in this case, Todd King?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how are you familiar with him?
He was a yard porter, so he was always walking around out there. And one of the roles that an investigator does is you're always trying to find the illegal drugs. You're trying to find illegal activity going on in the yard, and you do that by intelligence gathering. So it's always constantly watching and learning what inmates do and what people do. And so him working on the yard, he was prime suspect of transporting drugs in his trash bag. He's prime
Objection.
suspect in passing stuff he's not supposed to pass.
Objection.
Things of that nature.
Objection. Move to
Overruled.
strike.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm allowing this testimony for a very limited purpose. I'm allowing it for the purpose of explaining why the investigator was doing the things that that he was doing. You can consider it for that and for no other purpose.
He's a prime suspect in
Okay.
transporting
So
narcotics.
fair to say that your job is not just sitting behind a desk all day and doing investigations.
That's correct.
All right. You're out there amongst the COs, amongst the inmates on a daily basis?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, had you ever at that time interacted with Inmate King at all?
I had. Inmate King has, he's been in prison for a minute, so he has those jobs out there. I've seen him walking around before, and he's had contraband in previous times.
Objection.
Overruled.
And what I mean by contraband is prisons have to run by rules. You have to have rules to run them. It's just like laws on the street. And the easiest way to say this is a prison is a small city behind a fence. And so our job is to enforce those rules, which is like laws. One of the things inside of a male facility is when they're walking on the yard, they got to be in what we call state clothing. They got to have state pants on. They got to have a state shirt on. They got to have their ID badge with them. These are just minor rules, but they're major in the rehabilitation process. There's plenty of times that these guys like piercing one ear and putting one piece of material in their ear. Never know, but they're trying to insinuate an earring, or they try to wear gold chains. It's contraband. Mr. King was always known of wearing earrings or big gold necklaces of some type, or fake gold necklaces. So I'd always have to tell him to take those off. We'd enforce the rules. That's how I remember him. He also liked to pass contraband.
Objection.
I'm going to sustain that objection. The jury will disregard that reference.
Let me ask you this. You're using the word contraband, okay? And by contraband in a prison setting, can that be something that somebody on the outside, not necessarily illegal per se, in a criminal sense, but something, like you said, the earrings. Somebody on the outside is okay to have earrings, might not be so on the inside of a prison.
That's correct.
Okay, so when we're using the word contraband, it's more of a generalized term, not necessarily guns, drugs, the thing that an everyday person would think of as contraband, correct?
Jewelry's big on that, yes.
Jewelry is big. Jewelry is on the contraband list for prison, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And there are policies in place, correct?
Policies and Ohio Revised Code.
Policies and the Ohio Revised Code. Okay, so what controls what a prison inmate can have on the inside of an institution?
First, the Ohio Revised Code that is written so that the department will write a policy. The policy tells you a list of stuff that they are allowed to have, and then the inmate manual at each institution. If the managing officer changes anything, he'll put it in an inmate manual.
Okay. And I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 8 at this point. And I'm going to put that down there. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what is that document, sir?
That's the incarcerated person's personal property policy.
Okay, and what is the purpose of that document?
That right there is our rules. That's what makes us, as staff members of the Department of Corrections, to ensure that the property they get has to be in this policy, and it can't be over 2.4 cubic feet when they leave.
Okay. And we've seen a lot of these policies throughout the day today. And this one, I'm going to direct your attention to, let's see, page 5 of 11, and specifically section C. And if you could refer to number 6, what does that cover in that particular section?
Number 6 right there tells the reader or the staff member per OAC Rule 5120-9-25, Section K, the appearance and grooming of male inmates. Male IPs, which stands for incarcerated persons, are not permitted to wear earrings, Therefore, male IPs cannot order, possess, or wear earrings.
Okay. Now, why is that particular policy important to your dealings with Mr. King?
Mr. King, being out on the yard, has the presence of being able to run into visitors, contractors, volunteers, and also being employed for so long, know that's a rule. In order to show that the outside public that come into the prisons, that we do make guys follow the rules that we post on our policies.
Okay. All right, so let's go back to July 11th of 2024. Tell us what were you doing on that particular day?
One of the jobs as an investigator, I work directly for the warden. I'm on his executive staff. We have to do what we call the administrative duty officer schedule. And what that is every 12 days, we represent the warden by making visits to different posts, talking to staff, checking for cleanliness, checking for policies and things of what's going on. And we write a report at the end of our shift to let him know, because he can't get everywhere in one day. So as a member of his executive staff, I had administrative duty officer duty that day. Always have to do a round in recreation. Being a summer nice day, I walked up to recreation. I think I actually walked a lap around the track. Based on my job, a lot of these guys don't run up and talk to me or nothing. So I walked a lap around the track by myself. And as I was coming around the side of the track, I noticed a bunch of inmates over by the fence where they exit the yard. I noticed inmate King on the other side of that fence holding his trash bag. Part of his job duties is not to be up there talking to other inmates, not to be up there trying to exchange items with them. And at the time, in July of 2024, we had what we called a tune problem. And one of the major transportations of tune was what they would do is they would use people like in Mr. King's job to transport it to other areas of the prison. Now, tune is a drug. Tune is a piece of paper that they try to get sent in that's sprayed with an intoxicating substance. Inmates try to smoke it and get high off of it. It can be sprayed with bug spray, it can spray with synthetics, and they would sneak it in through their mail or legal mail and things of that nature. Now, we've changed things since then, so we've attacked that thing, but at that time frame, it was well known that inmates would pass that through their jobs. And so when I seen that, I said, hey, break it up, break it up, break it up. Inmate King was moving kind of slow. The other inmates moved away from him, and as I exit the gate, he turned around and looked at me and started to walk the other way when I asked him to stop.
Okay, and why did you ask him to stop?
The way he looked at me, I've had interactions with him on the yard before and really didn't, I could tell him to take his earrings out. When he had them on the yard, he took them out. I should have taken them probably, or somebody else, or he would take his necklace off or stuff like that. He would get himself into compliance. This one time when I seen him, he just looked a little different. Plus I thought I wanted to search his trash bag because I thought he might have been passing that tune through the fence because we was having such a problem with it. So I said, hey, King, come here, and he kept walking real fast away from me toward the chapel area. At that time, Officer Cheek, I think, saw me trying to stop him and intervened with me.
Okay, and at that particular point, he did have earrings in his ears?
Yes, he did.
Okay, all right, what happened then?
I told him, hey, man, time to take those earrings out again. I was trying to de-escalate him running from me, leaving the area, trying to have a conversation with him because I believed he was intoxicated through the K2, the tune. I believe I saw his hand go toward his mouth at one time when he was along the fence. I couldn't tell if he swallowed something. So I wanted to kind of engage that conversation with him and de-escalate just us talking to see what's going on. At that time, I said, hey, King, take your earrings out, because that's something I always said to him. And he started a conversation saying no.
Okay. Have you dealt with inmates before that you believe to be intoxicated?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And what kind of signs was inmate King showing at the time that led you to believe he may have been intoxicated?
Tune, if you can only imagine, the stuff they put on it is very, very, I don't know what, it's the wasp spray. It does something to their nerve endings and stuff like that. So they have this angriness to them, for one. Their pupils dilated. And they really just act like they don't hear nothing. They look around. And so he was displaying some of those to me. So that's why I went to talk to him and check that bag of trash.
Does tune have an odor?
No.
Okay, so not something like alcohol that you could detect a
Right.
smell or an odor.
You just got to
correct?
pay attention to them and look at them and see how they're acting.
Okay. And how long do you say you've been working at the prison?
I've been almost 31 years.
31 years? Okay. All right. So what happened next?
I asked him to take the earrings out. He refused. Officer Cheek came over to assist. When Officer Cheek came out there, inmate King was yelling back saying, I ain't doing nothing. I can't remember the exact words. I'm not taking them out. You're not messing with me or something like that. I said, hey man, just take them out. Of course, of all the 30 years of training, policies have changed and everything like that. But I also know to de-escalate the situation, because there's an inmate yard that was behind me, inmates over there watching. They're going to be released soon, which would be a mass movement through that area. That was probably better just to go ahead and handcuff him and take him to what we call the TPU, Transitional Program Unit, which is the hole or whatever you want to call it. And we'd send him over there to talk to him again, or at least walk him in cuffs to a different area. I was trying to get him out of the area. We was going to have him remove the earrings and take them as contraband. And then we was also going to check his bag for additional drugs or anything that could have been in there.
Prior to this particular date, had you had any difficulties with inmate King?
Inmate King's going to be, because he's older, he thinks he can talk to you different. He would say certain things to me because I'd make him follow the rules. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. He's going to do the bare minimum. He was not one of the guys that always took an order and went and did it. I believe, at times, inmate King would end up with contraband because he'd be running contraband through the prison.
Objection. Can we approach, Your Honor?
Ladies and gentlemen, part of what your job is to do is to examine the reasonableness of what everybody was doing in this situation. So part of that is what is going on in Investigator Hall's mind when he's doing the things that he's doing, and part of it is what's going on in Mr. King's mind as he's doing the things that he is doing. So I'm going to allow this testimony again for the same thing that I told you before, for the limited purpose of explaining why Officer or Investigator Hall is doing the things that he is doing. It is not relevant, and you are not to consider whether these things are actually true or not, because it doesn't matter for your purposes whether any of the things that Investigator Hall suspected of Mr. King were actually true or not. That part doesn't matter. You only need to put yourselves in their shoes so that you can evaluate the reasonableness of what everybody's doing under the circumstances. Go ahead, Ms. Trainer.
Thank you, Your Honor. By difficulties, too, I mean, had you had any heated conversations with him? Any physical difficulties with him at any?
No
at any
physical,
point?
no heated. Just he seemed to, if I would say certain things, follow the orders to the minimum. But he was again suspect in my mind in my job duties.
Okay, fair enough. When you find a person, well, let me ask you this. Are there different levels of contraband in the prison?
No. Well, you got minor contraband and major contraband.
Okay.
There we go.
Minor and major.
Minor and
right?
major, correct.
Okay. Would earrings, for example, would that be a major or a minor contraband?
That would be minor.
That would
Major would be like prison
then
hooch,
Me looking
right?
for drugs would be the major.
And drugs would be a major. Okay.
Right.
So do you have, is there any level of discretion or choice on an officer in the prison when they discover someone with minor contraband?
No. Minor contraband should always be taken according to policy. As a supervisor myself, if a correction officer, if he walked past a correction officer with earrings in, and that correction officer didn't do nothing, and I had to correct the correction officer, hey, he's violating that rule. My job is to teach that correction officer or do what I'm supposed to do as a supervisor of the institution.
Okay. So what is that correction officer supposed to do?
The correction officer is supposed to make sure that all inmates remain in compliance with the rules.
Okay, and how do they do that?
They enforce them. Correction officers go to training every year. We all go the same amount of in-service training once a year. We're required to read policies and procedures, so they know certain things. If inmate King walked past one, I'd tell the officer, hey man, he's got earrings in, they might not have known, he's not supposed to have them, go have him take them out. So me training them through the years too. I mean, there's a lot of rules, as you can think. It's not something you learn overnight.
Okay. What's a ticket?
A ticket is a conduct report. Basically, it's just like a speeding ticket. What it is we write a conduct report for them violating a rule. That rule violation, depending on what it is, will go to their unit sergeant first. If it's a major violation, which a major contraband, say drugs or something like that, then it goes to what we call Rule Infractions Board, which is a 3-member panel, and they listen to his case where he has a chance to defend himself and ask other people questions.
Okay. Is a ticket supposed to be issued for minor contraband?
Yes,
Okay. Is a ticket always issued for minor contraband?
it should be,
Should be, okay. On the level of a correction officer,
and it should be. Sometimes it's probably not, but they probably just take it from them
okay?
and get rid of it. But those days are kind of over with. When I say I started 30 years ago, those things probably happened a lot where the inmate would rather you just get rid of their contraband and write them a ticket, so they didn't lose their recreation privileges, their tablet privileges, and things of that nature. Anymore, we steer away from that method of discipline. It used to be inmates say, hey, don't write me a ticket, take my contraband, I'm going to tell you where drugs are. That used to be different, different things like that, but those days are over with.
Okay. Was it your intent that day to write Mr. King a ticket for
Yes.
his earrings?
Yes.
Okay. You had said previously, though, there have been times where you told him to take them out,
Take
right?
them out and get rid of them. I was
get
trying
rid
to
of
be, get rid of them. Give them a chance, get rid of them.
Okay, so fair to say there have been times in the past where you did not write him a ticket for that?
That's correct.
Okay. Why?
Just my way of doing things as an investigator sometimes is maybe if I show an inmate that I'm not going to write you a ticket for it, maybe he build trust in me, and based on my job and intel and him working that yard, he'll tell me where the drugs are coming in and out. I'm looking for an informant.
Okay. All right, so this day, he was not going to take out his earrings, correct?
He said he was not, and he had appearance of an intoxication probability.
Okay, so what was your next step?
Since I wanted to get him out of the area, I told him to turn around. He wouldn't turn around for the longest. And then Officer Cheek came in, and between me and Officer Cheek, told him to turn around, be cuffed, be cuffed. Eventually he said, all right, I'll turn around. And he turned around. Then as he was turning around, Officer Cheek came to this side in case he did anything else. There was no, according to policy, there was no pre-assault indicators at the time. It's like he was giving up. I had my handcuffs out. After he said it, he gave up. So I had my handcuff open on, and as I was getting ready to put it on there, it was actually the fastest swing I've been involved with. And next thing I know, I was bounced back 5-6 foot.
All right. What would have been, you use the term pre-assault indicators. All right, and Mr. King was not exhibiting any of those?
No, and pre-assault indicator on some of those would be, he gave up to be handcuffed, he put both hands behind his back. He wasn't trying to step away from me, he wasn't trying to pull his arms. Sometimes they try to pull their arms. He had given up on the chance of saying, I'm not going to do it, yelling at us and things of that nature. So the pre-assault indicators is like, we had de-escalated the situation down where he agreed to be handcuffed.
Okay. Did he have a trash bag in his hand?
Yes.
What did he do with the trash bag?
We ended up putting it on the ground. He dropped it on the ground in front of him, I believe.
Okay.
What did
was
you
that
do?
something else you were
What did
looking
you do with the trash
at
bag?
in determining whether he was going to comply with your orders?
Yes, the plan of action would have been to handcuff him, get the bag, and go through the bag and look for drugs that I thought he was passing off to other people.
Did you look through the bag?
That was the main intent of going over there because I seen the inmates gathered. And again, like I said, we had a problem with drug overdoses going on.
Okay. All right. Obviously, that's not what happened.
No.
So he described the hit. Where did he hit you, and how did he hit you?
He hit me in the left eye, and I had the handcuffs went flying in the air when he hit me. My reading glasses came off my head, and it was hard enough to punch my contact out. I went back 5, 6 foot. I didn't fall on my back, but I was standing there. I knew something had happened, but I didn't know where I was. I don't know how to explain it. It's the first time I ever been hit like that. As I tell everybody, it took me 29 years to be assaulted, so I must be a fair guy most of the time. He hit me and it bounced me back.
His character witness
Couldn't really
shouldn't be
see,
allowed to
but I
testify
heard
about
Cheek
himself.
over there struggling with King, saying, "Give me your hands, give me your hands." I pulled my mace can out, my OC spray, and I went running towards there with one eye open.
Okay. And when you got back to him and Cheek, what did you do?
I immediately reached down and I started spraying. I actually think I sprayed Cheek
Okay.
because Officer Cheek was pretty intoxicated with the OC fumes there, so I was able to back out of there. I was probably doing more damage than helping.
Okay, that was my next question, is did the OC spray take effect on Mr. King?
Oh, I don't know if it hit him, because at that time, Officer Ezraroth started coming in on the scene, and I couldn't tell who was spraying, because I think Officer Cheek might have sprayed once before I was able to get back up there, but I couldn't tell.
Okay.
Because I had mace on me too from somebody. I don't know, it could have been my own.
Okay, so were you being affected by the spray as well?
Yes.
Okay, so plus the hit to the eye.
Correct.
All right, let's back up just a little bit. When Officer Cheek first came out and approached, what was he doing?
Officer Cheek came out. He saw me having a problem with King, or King was yelling at me. King was wanting to argue, and that's another reason I thought he was intoxicated. He was wanting to argue with me. Most inmates don't argue with me. It's just how it is. But he was arguing with me, so Cheek came out, and as he came out, he held up his OC can because it did look like a pre-assault indicator. The inmate was refusing orders. He was turning around. He was
How can
moving.
you testify to
There's
what
a lot of
Cheek
pre-assault
did,
indicators. So
why he did it?
I believe, as a supervisor, what Cheek did was come out to assist me and help de-escalate the situation too, but was prepared for an assault at the same time.
Okay, and at that point, did Officer Cheek deploy his OC spray?
No.
How do you know?
If he would have sprayed, you would have seen on camera, for one, you would have seen a poof. You would have seen inmate King's head move. I would have smelt it because I don't like the stuff. I tell you that it's bad. And I wouldn't have stood there any longer myself. And also, a use of force would have happened at that time to restrain the inmate. Once he would have sprayed him, both of us would have immediately tried to handcuff him. So we de-escalated that, and Officer Cheek brought his mace down.
Okay, because you thought he was going to comply at that point.
Yeah, the pre-assault indicators went away.
Okay. All right, so how ultimately, if you know, was Mr. King able to be restrained?
If I remember, once Cheek and Azaroth was on the ground, there was other people that responded, maybe a lieutenant. And I do remember somebody, I couldn't tell you who put the handcuffs on him. I don't remember seeing it or anything, but I could hear the lieutenant say, "Okay, everybody stop, get up." And to me, usually when a lieutenant comes in, I remember this from my days as lieutenant, when you come into a situation like that, that's what you tell the officers once the handcuffs go on.
Okay. All right, so once everything kind of settled down, what did you do?
Once everything settled down, they took the inmate away. Another lieutenant came up to me and said, "Man, you kind of got hurt." My eye poofed up real big. It was shut. They put me in a golf cart and took me to medical to see the nurse.
All right, and I'm going to put what I marked
get
as
to see
case
the
exhibit
injury.
3A up there. What are we looking at there?
He got a shiner
That's
there.
the eye he hit on me. That was one hit, and the lieutenant that was taking me to medical took my picture real quick.
Okay, so this was still out in the yard where it happened?
Yeah, that building right behind there is the chapel.
Okay. And
That's
at
the
this
steeple
point,
of
looks
the
like your
chapel
eye's
right there.
pretty swollen there, right?
Yes.
Okay, and what happened after you went to medical?
They sent me to Atrium Medical Center.
All right. And what happened at Atrium?
While at Atrium, they examined my eye. Of course, they looked for that contact that got pushed out somewhere. It wasn't in my eye. sent me through a CAT scan, and diagnosed me with a broken orbital, and then recommended, take painkillers or whatever, recommended I see an eye doctor, and then immediately see an ear, nose, and throat doctor for that injury.
Okay.
That happened on Thursday. By Friday, the fastest eye doctor I could get into was, I was going through the Veterans Administration for my eye care. I went up to VA Dayton, where they also said I had iritis also of the eye, which is some medical term about the formation of my eye and the eye pressures.
Okay. Let's go through some more pictures here. This is State's Exhibit 3B. Where was this taken?
That's in Atrium Hospital by the trooper, I would say.
Okay. And just a little bit closer view of your eye there, 3C.
Same thing at Atrium.
3D is a kind of a straight-on shot there, right?
Yes.
How long was your eye looking like that, swollen and?
It looked like
black eye?
swollen for a good 2 weeks until that was the blood, where blood circulates down there, then it went black all the way around. And then the pain would have been right underneath the eyeball.
Okay. And did this affect your vision at all?
Yes, at the time.
Okay. How so?
Blurry vision, like sparkling and stuff. It took a while to go away. I had to take steroid eye drops to get the iritis under control.
Saw stars and unicorns.
Then also, like I said, the bone was just soggy, I guess you'd say. It felt like soggy. This is the easy way to say it.
Mushy.
Okay.
Mushy.
How long did your vision stay impaired?
A good 3 weeks.
Okay. And how about the broken orbital? Did you have to have any surgical procedures or anything to heal that?
No surgery. All they did was told me not to get hit there again. Next time I would have to have surgery. And then due to the eye exam and the stuff, I had to go back a couple times to make sure the little floaties were going in there. And the chances, I gotta go twice a year and get the pressure testing because the chances of glaucoma had increased high with that type of injury.
Okay. And is there an end in sight for that, or is that something you're gonna have to do forever?
Something I have to do forever.
Okay. And just
That's
so
the
you can
ongoing
identify
damage.
State's Exhibit number 4. Those are your medical records from the Atrium Medical Center, correct?
Yes.
All right. And State's Exhibit number 5, which is a big, thicker packet, is your medical exam or medical records from your ENT visits, correct?
That's correct.
All right. But this is still something that's ongoing, right?
Yes.
Thanks for not showing all the records. I'd have to cut away from it.
Were you off work as a result of this?
I was off work for 3 weeks on oil leave, occupational injury leave.
Okay. And when you returned, did you have any restrictions, light duty, anything like that?
It was more that no restrictions. Again, he just told me not to get hit in the eye, but what I did is I tried to adjust my schedule where I didn't have to go out that much for a couple more weeks.
Okay.
Make sure I didn't have the ADO again or something like that, and maintain my duties in my office.
Okay. All right. Follow up, just back to the incident. You said that this happened in an area like the yard area, right? And we've watched several videos. We're going to go through them one more time with you. It doesn't really look like there's any inmates or anything out around when this happens. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so can you describe to me where is everybody? Like, why is it only the 3 of you at that particular point?
What's going on at that time frame is the rec yard. There was inmate housing unit in the rec yard, and they were also to the left of this, where the scene of the incident occurred, would have been where the food service department is. And probably, I would say what was happening around that time frame, the yard would look empty because they were locking food service down and getting ready to release recreation back to their housing units. During mass movement, you don't want to let all that going on because we try not to let the housing units mingle.
Okay.
So that time frame just was, and he was allowed to be out during any of that because he was the trash pickup porter, or whatever they call it, yard porter. Every now and then, if an inmate has a pass, he can go out in the yard but you won't see mass movements as they're very well, we tell them when they can move.
Okay, but he had special privileges to be kind
That's
of
correct.
out and about in the area. Okay. And what we're gonna do, you've seen the videos surrounding the incident, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and we're gonna just go through states number 6, I believe it is, to make sure, which is the surveillance video of the yard, right? Yeah, thank you. All right, I'm gonna back this up a little bit, and if you could kind of tell us what's happening here.
Okay, this is it's a recording from the 2 Alpha front walkway, zoomed in.
Okay, and what's the camera situation around this particular area?
In that area, being on the yard, is 2 Alpha walkway. There's a camera in front of every block that points out to the yard. Then there's also what they call PTZ cameras out in different buildings, but they're automatically, I believe I see one straight ahead right there. I believe that's a camera, but they usually point that at the recreation gate, especially when mass movement's getting ready to happen, which is the closing of that yard. So we see those guys coming off that yard, and if there's any other problems.
Okay, and you said mass movement was getting ready to happen in this.
It should have been happening probably within the next 3 to 4 minutes around that incident, because Officer Ezraroth, I can tell you, I was talking to him when I was doing my rounds, and as we was walking off, he let me through the gate. He left it open because he said mass movement's getting ready to happen.
Okay, and part of your job as an investigator at the prison, you have access to these cameras?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're familiar with how they work, what kind of angles they're pointed at?
Yes.
That kind of thing? Okay. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and play this. And
That was the time I got hit.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna try to slow this down a little bit if we can.
It's really slow.
Mr. Hall, there's an X there that will take away that blue arrow.
Please press the X. Oh, no, now you've made another one.
Does he have an X?
Now we have
Actually,
3.
I don't think there is an X, Judge, unlike your courtroom.
Just push right above here, it'll clear.
Oh, yeah, there's none down there.
There, yeah.
My bad.
All right, so at the very beginning of this, we've got you and the defendant, obviously, and Officer Cheek. How long do you think that you had been interacting with the defendant before Officer Cheek came out?
Probably 30 seconds, if that.
Okay,
I
not
mean,
long?
Not long at all, because I was trying to get to him because he was walking away.
Okay. All right. And I've slowed this down, so.
Mace comes down from Officer Cheek. Officer
This
Cheek
This is
goes
just
around.
us de-escalating him a little bit, like, hey, we're just one. But I went to the earrings because.
Goes around.
Go back here,
Goes
but
a-
see, I
boom, bam,
I
throws-
reached for his hand, that's when he hit me.
Okay.
On that video, yes.
And why were you reaching for his hand?
Because he gave up, and he gave me the impression that he was giving up to be handcuffed.
To be handcuffed. All right.
Here goes the body slam.
And
Their arms are wrapped around.
if he had complied
Oh, keep showing. Keep it.
and agreed to be handcuffed, what would you have done at that point?
At that point, I would have put my handcuffs.
Overruled.
I would have put my handcuffs on him. Our handcuffs are marked.
It's a hypothetical.
Mine says investigator on them. I would have called for an officer or supervisor, since to de-escalate it even more, I would not have walked into isolation. I would have had one of them take him to isolation. And they would have addressed the issue that I had with him. At that time, I would have searched that bag. My goal was that bag.
Okay.
That was my goal.
All right. And you've had the opportunity to review Officer Cheek's body cam as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Which I think captures part of your interaction with him.
Turn around. King, turn around now. Final directive to turn around or I will spray you.
No, they spray nobody.
Turn around and cuff up.
Cuff up for what?
What was your order? Turn around.
You said give you the ear.
Okay, turn around and cuff up. Turn around now.
Nice.
I will spray you.
I'm asking you nice.
I'm gonna ask you nicely to turn around. Are you gonna do it or not?
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Then turn around. Drop the trash. Drop the trash.
All right, and obviously, that's reflective of when you made the move to put the handcuffs on, correct?
Correct. That's when we started
All right.
issuing physical
Now,
directives
after
to gain
this
compliance.
incident, did you fill out a use of force form?
When I returned from the hospital, yes.
Okay, that was my question. Was this a pre-hospital visit, post-hospital visit? Tell me the timeline of that.
I went to the hospital. They told me I'd be off work for a while, and I knew from being in the career so long that I needed to finish all necessary paperwork prior to leaving.
Okay, so did you go back to the prison straight from Atrium?
Yes, I went back to my office and I typed the statements. I went to the shift captain or shift lieutenant. Can't remember which one was putting what they called a use of force packet together, and made sure that they had my paperwork so they could finish their packet.
Okay, what's the purpose of a use of force packet?
That's to combine everything from a particular use of force, and when they put that, they combine all the documentation, all the people that's involved, if you witnessed it, if you was part of it, and then that goes in a packet. The major and the deputy warden of operations reviews the packets, okay, and make sure there's what's going on, and then the warden will review the packet, who determines at that time if it goes to a use of force committee or not.
Okay, and prior to filling out your use of force report, did you watch any of these videos?
I did not.
Okay. Were you required to talk to anybody about the use of force investigation?
Upon my return to work, I was told that the warden had made the decision to send it to committee, and there was a captain, I can't remember his name, from Dayton Correctional that came down, and the warden sent it out basically, since it's my position, sent it out, and he came down and made a decision also.
Okay, so this captain from Dayton was an independent investigator?
Yes.
Okay, and you said that's because of your position as an investigator in the prison?
That's correct.
All right, 'cause
Being
you-
on executive staff, he's go to the wardens. If a correction officer goes, it's somebody like me that would do the use of force. But being where I was at, somebody else had to do it. That
Okay.
would have been higher than me.
And you have a counterpart that works there at the prison with you, correct?
Yes, I have a partner.
And who is that?
That's Kevin Chamberlain.
Okay, and would it have been appropriate for Kevin Chamberlain to do the investigation as
no.
well? Okay. When an inmate gets injured at the prison, whether it's a result of an incident with staff or another inmate, is there a procedure or protocol as to where they are sent if they need medical treatment?
The first place it goes, our medical department. Our medical department's staffed with doctor, nurse practitioner, nurses, RN nurses, and LPNs. If they make the decision that inmate has an injury, just like myself, staff member had an injury, and they cannot help him there, they will send him, if it's an emergency care situation, they'll send him to Atrium. If it's something that's kind of like emergency, like urgent care type of care, they'll send them to the Ohio State University Hospital in Columbus.
Okay, and is that a policy that's in place with all the prisons in
Yes.
Ohio?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, one central location for everybody regardless of where the prison is located, is that fair?
That's fair unless it's a life or death situation. then
Oh,
they go to
obviously, if it's a life or
Yeah.
death situation, they're gonna go to the closest one, right?
Correct.
But no life or death situation, everybody goes to OSU.
Correct.
Regardless of the gravity of the injury, correct?
That's correct. And the doctor on premises makes that call.
Okay, the doctor at the prison?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, Investigator Hall, do you see the person we've been speaking about, Mr. King, in the courtroom today?
We'll stipulate.
Noted, thank you.
Thank you. No further questions for you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to break for the evening. So remember what I have already told you. You are not to begin thinking about this case, discussing the case amongst yourselves, or thinking about how it should be decided. I don't want you to do any research at home, no Google searches, no artificial intelligence. Just forget about this case until you come back
It's the first
tomorrow.
one I've heard add that.
A word of
AI.
caution, when you get home, whoever you see, your significant other, kids, neighbors, whatever, they're going to want to know about today.
Those
And it has
neighbors'
been my
kids, so
experience
curious.
that anything that you tell them other than I was selected for jury duty and I will tell you all about it when it's over, anything that you say other than that's going to get you in trouble. Hey, what kind of case was it? And, what about this and this? And you end up discussing the case with your family member, whoever it is. And we spent a lot of time picking you. We didn't pick all these other people. So just say, Judge Oda Zamini, he's not going to let me talk about the case until it's over. Just say that, and then you can bring him up to speed when it's over. We are going to start tomorrow morning at 8:45, right where we left off. So go straight to the jury room. Hopefully, we will have all of the technical situations fixed by then so that we are back on my home field. I don't like having an away game here. So hopefully we'll be back where we belong. Sometimes there's this tendency when you're in the jury room, because you don't really have much else in common, to talk about the trial or anything about. Don't begin discussing the case. No little mini jury while we're waiting to get started. Don't be that one person that we're all waiting for tomorrow. Did we collect contact information? And make sure that you take Ms. Karuko's contact information so we know if something comes up. All right. See you tomorrow, 8:45.
All right, jury's headed out. The state's pretty much done with their case there. We're just waiting for cross-examination. Then tomorrow there will be defense case. Tomorrow we start the au pair case. I might see if I can run this on Top Mark Media for those that want to follow.
Mr. Hall, you can step down. We are on the record outside the presence of the jury. Mr. Engel, we made some objections during the course of Investigator Hall's testimony regarding his interactions, his beliefs, his suspicions about the defendant. Is there anything that you would like to place of record regarding that?
Yeah, we would ask the court to strike his testimony on that. I think I understand the court's limiting instruction about focusing on what's in his mind, but I think some of the testimony went beyond that and went into saying that Mr. King was someone who actually had a history of smuggling drugs in, and there's no evidence of that. He's never been charged with any crime of that sort, and I feel that was certainly unduly prejudicial.
Okay. 8:45 tomorrow. We're going to finish with Investigator Hall, and then do we have another witness on behalf of the state tomorrow?
Yes, Your Honor. One, perhaps two, depending on Sergeant Clance's
health.
Okay, what are we doing about our sick witness?
It's Sergeant Clance.
Yeah, it is Sergeant Clance.
I'm hoping he's going to be here. Do we have an update on his...
I have been a little busy, so I have not been able to contact him.
So he is a witness that the defense wants to present also, right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right.
I don't necessarily need to present him. I know Mr. Engel has issued a subpoena for him and perhaps wishes to call him, but...
Tell him to be here or make arrangements for Zoom, one or the other.
I will reach out to him and
live
update
from
the court
bed
and Mr. Engel
From
this evening via email, if that's okay.
Yeah, if it's okay with the court, I'm okay with him testifying by Zoom because I don't want him bringing flu into here. So.
Everybody's got something.
Says the person who doesn't have to sit next to him.
All right. I mean, he's close enough. Hopefully we'll get back into my courtroom where he's a little farther away. All right, I'm going to bring back the COVID shield.
Yes.
All right, what else? Anything?
Nothing from the
Don't think
defense,
so.
Your Honor.
No.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow at 8:45.
Thank you.
Okay.
If possible, we want to have Mr. King here by 8:30, if that's possible. That's what's on the transport order, so we should be good there.
Can you make it about 7:30?
What's that?
Can you make it about 7:30?
Well,
He's got one hand handcuffed to his belly chain, still is shackled. The other hand's going to be locked up here in just a moment. Candace Hoff, member for 17 months, almost an OG. Candace, you're an OG. We know, OG. We know you've been here longer. Welcome, Candace. Judge is really upset when he's not in his own courtroom. It's funny, it is. Things just work differently, although the mics are better in this one. So, bailiffs are just kicking back, taking it easy, not in a rush to take him back into custody. Nobody wants to be first to make the move to put him in cuffs. They saw what happened last time on the video. So, all right, I can't commit to showing it tomorrow, Anna, on Top Mark Media. It's just there's a lot of moving pieces on a day one of court that I'm not sure if I can do that. But I will tell you, it is available on YouTube. This is a YouTube channel that the Warren County Courts makes available. So if you search Warren County Courts or Warren County Courtroom, and there's got like 1, 2, 3, and 4 or something like that, you just go to Judge Oda's. It's live 24/7. It should be live again tomorrow, as long as they get everything fixed. So that'll help. All right. Not going to lie, I had some odd dreams falling asleep to this one. I can imagine. It was a good one. Tomorrow's going to be spicy. Bring a friend and maybe some popcorn. It's going to be good tomorrow. We've got a doozy of a case we're following, 4 to 5 weeks long, out of Virginia. It involves a husband and a wife and an au pair and a hookup that possibly wasn't consensual. 2 guns, a knife, and there's the whole co-defendant's going to testify against the defendant. That's going to be exciting as well. It's going to be a great case. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better. Please stay safe till we go live again tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, it's probably going to be about 9:15. Court doesn't start, I think, till 10. If it's any earlier, I'll check. But we'll be live tomorrow morning. We'll bring you everything that happens. It's going to be spicy. As I said before, wear your big boy panties. Well, some jokes don't have to be told. Let's just say that. We won't have to. Yeah, it's going to be good. Did you hear that Raul kid? The party boy is being charged with manslaughter for being found not guilty. I'm so upset. Wow. Yeah, they wanted him so bad. They're going again. I wonder how that's going to be interesting. All right, you guys have a good night. We will see you in the morning. Be good to each other. Bye-bye.
Because he's the guy.
I saw a chicken fight